It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus. Windows and doors that go beyond.
All right, welcome back aboard. Thursday time. Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice, Hayes, and CB. Boys, how we feeling?
Oh, feeling good, man. Feeling really good. Looked outside before I walked in the studio. Didn't see a cloud in sight. I think we're getting to mid-80s today. You got the golf gear on already, so I think I know what you're doing around 3:45 today.
I told Chops on the way out of here, Matty, that, it's an ice box in here. You can hang the meat in here. It's a freezer, and you've dressed well for it. I usually don't. But I have noticed if I do wear jeans here, which I don't mind wearing, I'm kind of stuck for the rest of the day because I can't go putt and chip in jeans. I know I've skied in my jeans.
Yeah,
He's from Jersey. He skis in his jeans. But I'm not going to go play golf in denim.
Well, won't you
all
just,
right? And so
drop the pants outside in the parking lot and put the shorts on right away in the parking lot, Just take care of business.
Always have a pair of shorts ready.
Yeah, have a couple pair.
Owen Wilson, you should have played in your underwear. You're right. That's a good move.
Just have them on deck for whenever you want to get out of here quickly and get to the course. I think jeans should be banned on all golf courses around the world. Right? We shouldn't be wearing jeans on the golf course.
Really? See, I thought you were the guy that said that forcing people to wear something like would be kind of uppity, that wouldn't be good. You should. It's a come as you. Matty Hayes' golf course. When you come as you are.
No, I mean, yeah, come as you are to a certain degree, right? Come as you are to a certain degree.
Tank tops and Timberlands. Wasn't that your motto?
No, I can't do tanks and tanks and butters. We were actually talking about the butters yesterday on the show, and CB said he actually owns a pair of Timbs. But yeah, tank tops, jeans, nah, quarter zips, polos, shorts. You can wear these super small shorts like CB wears. I'll allow those at the course. But jeans, no, leave them at home.
All right. Now we know where you draw the line, which is amazing. Because if they were a paying customer, I figured you'd say, hey, come aboard.
Come on in. No.
Right. We need your cash.
No, we got to have some type of couth going on at the course.
It was very cool. Nicklaus was in town yesterday, Mr. Nicklaus, Jack, to his friends. And so he did the Legends Luncheon and all the money they've raised for Children's Hospital. And it's just been just ridiculous effort there and how great it's been. But, it reminded me of a story that he once told, which was, in 86, when he won the Masters at age 46, he used that crazy big, long McGregor putter. It was called the Response putter. And it was weird. It was kind of it had was wide and the whole thing, but it was one that he wasn't even sure he was going to use, and he got it. And I won't go through the whole story, but as the story goes, he doesn't have the putter anymore. He doesn't have it. And he has every club he's ever won a major championship with except that one. And this wasn't yesterday, but I remember this story that it was kind of funny that he was playing tennis. Nicholas, he was at a sponsors event in Michigan. He was playing tennis for about 10 days with a famous player, named Yvonne Lendl and Tony Roach and Billy Scanlon. Billy Scanlon was a younger American player. And they came to his house, I guess, after that. And they wanted to get ready for some sort of grass court tennis, not Wimbledon, but a grass court event. And so Yvonne Lendl and Nicklaus would play against Billy Scanlon and Tony Roach. And anyway, they played tennis in the morning and golf in the afternoon. And Billy Scanlon, the tennis player, was putting horribly. And Jack always said that, he said, Billy, try this. Just use it while you're here, at his house. And he gave him the 86 Masters putter, the McGregor putter, to Billy Scanlon. And the only problem is, Matty, that Nicklaus never got it back. And then it got even more troubling because Billy subsequently passed away a few years ago, and he didn't know where it was. So he didn't know Scanlon that well even at the beginning. He was just kindly hoping he would give him the putter back, or at very least that he could donate it at least for a charitable cause or something. It was just troubling that he didn't know where it went. So in 2021, a few years ago, Scanlon dies of cancer. Bad story. And now he's dealing with Scanlon's widow, who wants to put the putter on eBay as fast as she can. She doesn't own it. It's his putter, and it's getting very, very troubling, right? Because you want to be sympathetic to the deaf.
Of course, yeah.
And he never gave it to anybody, technically. He just allowed him to use it, borrow it, right? And so Nicklaus said that Scanlon's wife would donate it. So he tried to get Augusta National, the home of the Masters, to buy it back for him, which is interesting because I assume he could buy it back.
Yeah,
but,
he's probably
right. So no deal was but buying back your own putter seems kind of.
That's odd.
I've done it. Remember what I did with that helmet, the Viking helmet chair? Another great story. I wish we had time for
Those
today.
Those aren't comfortable though.
It's a great, but that was a great story because it was a way to resell it again. I didn't want to just take it to put it back in the house, and so anyway, she put it on eBay, and I'm trying to think who bought. I think he either said Raymond Floyd bought it or somebody. It was Irsay.
Jimmy?
It was Irsay who bought it, and he knows him, so we could call him and figure out some way, to get it back. And so but he doesn't have it, and I don't know.
Nobody knows where this putter is.
No,
we need to get you on the hunt again.
It's the only club that claims that he doesn't have, that he won a championship with. Irons, woods, putters, everything. He has it all, except the iconic putter.
This thing is just in the wind. It's just in the wind right now.
Somebody has it.
We need Detective Rothman to dust off the old gear and get on it. You found OJ's bust. Now you need to find the putter for Jack. It's your guy, okay? We need to get you on the case. CB, don't you think AR is the guy to get this thing done?
Maddie, I'm a pet detective, not a putter detective. No,
that's a wild story.
The story may be updated somewhere along the line because I didn't have a chance to really ask him about it yesterday.
Yeah.
But it is the only one, and maybe coming up because, by the way, Media Day is Tuesday. How's your game?
Oh, I
thought you were in. You wanted to be in.
No, I've been telling you for weeks.
No,
you've got to go defend the crown.
You're in.
I'm not involved in this at all.
I want you to go there, shoot your 120, bring 2 dozen balls.
120? You're being
come
nice.
Back with one. No, I'm just saying.
You're being nice.
No, nobody out there cares. Just go.
Oh, yeah, no, I'll sit this one out.
Because a year ago you said, I really like to play.
I'll sit this one out. I'll live through you, and we will praise you come Wednesday or Thursday of next week when you are holding that trophy up again.
I think, Friday we do pressure cooker here, and I'm going to put you in it.
Oh, Amar, you can't put
Tuesday.
me in. I'm bowing out. I'm bowing out. You can't put me in. You can't. So when you talked to Jack yesterday, was there a bowl of cereal involved? Were there,
no,
because the old story is a bowl of cereal and boxers, right?
That's right.
When you sat down with him, was Jack fully dressed yesterday?
That'd probably be a pretty good name for a podcast if we did that. I don't know what you'd come up with. Oh, it would be. I know what it'd be. It'd be the Crackling Oat brand and boxers. That would be it.
The captain
and basically you bring in the sports guests, you pour them a bowl of Crackling Oat brand, and you both eat and talk sports over some cereal.
Oh, man.
Right?
You could
got to come up with a little better name, but
everybody's got a podcast for everything.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you could carve out that lane.
All right. But anyway, all good?
Yeah, man. All good.
You and Tyvis just getting after it yesterday.
Tyvis and I getting after yesterday. Had a lot of fun. Had a lot, to talk about. I mean, there's still just a lot of draft reaction going on. Picked his brain on, the Buckeye stuff going.
Did you guys do where the salary cap is for Ohio State right now?
You know what? that did not happen. That did not happen. But I would love to know.
Are they under the cap, over the cap? Is Ross Bjork willing to pay the luxury tax to win a championship this year?
I think they've already done that.
It probably was.
I think they've already done. I would love to know the details. And honestly, I don't know if we ever should know because for the old school fan of college football and college athletics in general, if they did know the exact dollars and dimes and pennies that these guys are getting right now, it would, the sticker shock would be crazy. It really would. Because it's pretty wild out here right now, AR. Like you can guess what some of these guys, but so whether you're a freshman, junior, senior, if you're a guy that's going to contribute, your pockets are full.
Which, okay, we never thought it would be like this specifically. We thought it would be, it would be very visible to us how they were making the money. And so the fact that it is, almost, how should I say this? It's kind of like a hiding in plain sight almost, where you know they're getting money, you just don't know how much or where it's coming from. Well, you know it's coming from the collectives, but you don't know how much or how much they're allotting to each guy. But this is very much like, if you would say, almost like a DraftKings in reality, where you're attaching a salary price to each guy, or you have tiers of players, and that's what it is. And listen, at the beginning I said this, that Ohio State was right to think that they wouldn't have to be the program to do this. That if you came here and became a star, of course, get your money. But it wasn't that you had to pay to play. And because they always offered the best possibility for these guys to live out their dreams, whether it's the platform, competition, coaching, training, campus life, conveyor belt to the NFL, tradition. They checked every box. The one box they never thought they had to was, how much do we have to pay you to come here? Like that. And what happened is what a minor losing streak, or not winning the title, that's what that brings, is that we can buy our way out of this now. Like, we have the money to buy our way out. Yeah. You just never thought you'd have to use it.
Yeah, and, look at a program down in the ACC that was dominating for a while. And Dabo and Clemson. And Dabo's been one of those coaches that has pushed back on this style of coaching, program building, whatever you want to call it now, and they've been just kind of meh over the last couple of years. I don't know if all of it's NIL. I'm sure there's been some misses in the transfer portal and recruiting and all of that. But that was a program that was rolling. One of the big-time programs around the sport. In the last few seasons, they've been left behind. So this is just what you have to do, and you got to hope that when you're a head coach, you've got a strong collective behind you and an AD on board to push this money out to these kids. That way you can throw out a good product on Saturdays.
Yeah, it's going to have to be great, and it's going to have to equal a title. Yeah. Or you feel like, not that money wasted, everything's a gamble, it's sports, you got to stay healthy, things have to, and it's Ryan Day's job to bring it all together. But yeah, and if you ever wanted kind of a example of all in, we'll do it later, and we'll talk about what happened with the transfer portal opening and then closing, and who's in and who's here to stay. We'll do that in our deep dive. We'll have Aaron Freeman on today. He's locked on Falcons. We've been wanting to get the Falcon perspective on the Penix selection. We'll do that at 12:33. Maddie's shirts are still out there, as he printed all of them. We'll find if Jeff Carr locked on Reds.
Officially print the shirts season. Oh, man. We're hanging in. We still got plenty of time.
I was looking down when you were just talking, and I wasn't sure whether that was the continuation of the tape, because your cadence is so perfect. Yeah. Like you match up to your tape voice so well.
Isn't it amazing that sometimes things get overrode in the system for the dad, but somehow, some way, CB always has that on deck.
He's got a lock.
I put that in a safe spot.
Absolutely. Oh, with some other things. He put it in a safe folder, Maddie, with some sound and some photographs. All right, we come back, and speaking of a man and his brand, a former Buckeye dealing with this still following the draft, we'll let you know what it is next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Good evening, this is your captain speaking. Our GPS flight tracker is on the fritz tonight, so we will be flying blind.
Here in Ohio, if you qualify for a medical cannabis card but still buy recreational cannabis, you're also flying blind, missing out on benefits and tax savings. Find your way to Veriheal.com to see if you pre-qualify for your medical cannabis card in less than 5 minutes. Veriheal. Veriheal.com.
The nightmare of the cleared drain. Those drain clearing specials from the other guys seem like a great deal until you realize the only thing really going down your drain is your money. At the Waterworks, we mean clean. Our service doesn't just clear your drains, it cleans them too. It's done right the first time, so that nightmare of a drain becomes a dream come true. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call 614-232-2222 to get started.
Have you seen the redesigns of the new Honda lineup? They're outstanding. Hey, it's Anthony here for my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. How does leasing a new 2024 Civic LX sedan for $279 a month sound? How about pre-owned rates from 1.99% on certified vehicles? Accords, HRVs, CRVs, and even more savings if you're a current Honda owner or you lease. You've got to go to Germain Honda of Dublin. It's fun, it's quick, it's easy, and it's on Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Ohio Mulch, Landscape Supply.
Hi, this is Ron Frost with Ohio Mulch, and here's to Ohio Mulch celebrating 40 years of making the community a greener and more beautiful place, one garden at a time. Don't miss out on the opportunities to elevate your outdoor space and to be part of a journey towards the next 40 successful years. Check out our promotions online at ohiomulch.com.
Ohio Mulch, Landscape Supply. Greener, greener, better.
Bobby Carpenter once sold workout equipment on QVC Canada. There's no joke here. That actually happened. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekdays starting at 6.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Men, this is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And you've heard me talk a lot about how treating low testosterone can improve your sleep, your workouts, your energy levels, and more. But today I want to talk to you about your sex drive, because low testosterone can have a significant impact on your desire for intimacy. It can even be a factor in erectile dysfunction. And if you're in a relationship or wanting to be in a relationship, a low sex drive could really be a problem. The good news is that if you're like most guys, treating your low testosterone could really change the way you feel about sex, giving you back the flame and desire that is so important when you love someone. So if you're feeling sluggish and tired, if you're not sleeping well, if your workouts aren't that great, and most of all, if your sex drive is more like a putt, make an appointment at Tri-State Men's Health and have your testosterone levels checked. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
Proper tree care is an investment that can lead to substantial returns and increased personal enjoyment. Hiring a certified arborist can help care for your trees and add considerable value to your property. Inspections by Ohio ISA certified arborists can often find and mitigate tree defects before they fail. Only professionals with specialized knowledge and training are properly equipped to provide appropriate care. To find an arborist, visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Healthcare.gov is here for you when life happens. If you lost your health coverage because of turning 26, going off Medicaid, leaving your job, or moving, you could be eligible to enroll in new coverage now. And if you need to update your coverage because of marriage or having a baby, you could also be eligible. But don't wait. There's a limited time to enroll. Check your eligibility at healthcare.gov today. Life happens. Get covered. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A pop-up shower or storm can't be rolled out this afternoon, but most of us stay dry. Mix of sun and clouds and highs in the mid-80s. We'll watch temperatures fall to the 60s overnight, with more scattered rain chances early Friday, becoming more widespread by Friday afternoon and especially Friday overnight. Temperatures will be in the 80s Friday, falling to just 70s for Saturday. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Sign up at oh.bet365.com. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus. Windows and doors that go beyond.
All right, so after the NFL draft, Marvin Harrison Jr., all the fans in Arizona were excited to buy his jersey. And that's what fans do. So, problem is, the jerseys weren't available. And it's one of those things that is a little bit confusing, but when you start to hear about maybe the reason, you can understand why. This is a guy who's already very wealthy. I assume made some fairly big money while he was here at Ohio State in his final season, and has every right to kind of control what he wants to moving forward. However, usually when you go into the league, you sign with the NFLPA, right? And it's a licensing deal and you get some money. The thing about his jersey, Maddie, is very interesting because he has not signed his licensing with the NFLPA. And so it's a very odd story because what it does is it could turn fans off to, wait a minute, why is this guy holding out on this when all the excitement around his draft? And it might revolve around a relationship in the past that he didn't get involved with, and now he's kind of taking his time to control his next move.
So I think this is more of, some static between Marvin Harrison Jr. and his camp and Fanatics, more so than it is NFL PA. And Pat McAfee, we all know him. This is a guy that was in the league for a long time. He's got connections to the Colts, and he kind of broke this down because it seems like he's got some inside information as to what's really going on here.
What we have heard from sources within the Marvin Harrison Jr. and Marvin Harrison Sr. camp. This is not about the NFLPA. Marvin Harrison Jr. will be a part of the NFLPA when the time comes. Yes. Exactly.
Need him.
Barry Sanders. Yeah, he just announced yesterday he's no longer working with Madden.
That's tough.
That's neither here nor there. We do need Marvin Harrison Jr. in Madden, especially now that I'm back in Madden. Would like to throw the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. Me, Peyton Marv, Pat Jr.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be a thing I will certainly do. But what I have been told is this is not an NFLPA thing. What this all revolves around is a deal that is allegedly being pitched to sophomores in college who have a name by a company named Fanatics. Now, obviously, Fanatics is involved in everything. Everywhere, everything. They even hosted the event that the WWE had at WrestleMania. Yeah. It was a Fanatics event. Fanatics does the jerseys for basically every league. They do the hats for every league. They also do cards and collectibles and things like that. I guess there was an offer made to Marvin Harrison Jr. whenever he was a sophomore in college, which has happened to a lot of guys, where if you sign it for a card deal, an autograph deal, it's for 4 years. So it goes all the way into like your second year in the NFL. Marvin Harrison, who doesn't need the money, said, we're not taking that deal. We're not signing that deal. So allegedly what's been happening behind the scenes is a potential tiff or beef between Fanatics and the Marvin Harrison camp. Now, can that be settled? We hope so. But what Marvin Harrison Jr.'s camp is saying, my price as a sophomore in high school is nowhere near the same as a rookie in the NFL or a second year in the NFL. And although a lot of other college student athletes are taking this deal, we did not take this deal. So the holdup with the NFLPA deal is actually a holdup with a Fanatics operation that's taking place. And that is kind of being misrepresented, seemingly, in some of the conversations that are happening around it.
All I heard is yesterday's price is not today's price, AR. That's what's going on here. And, when you won all those Emmys years ago, that's what you were telling, the TV station back in the day. When I bring home these trophies, yesterday's price ain't today's price. We got to rework the deal.
Okay. It's confusing to me a little bit. I didn't know that each guy, because he didn't have a deal with Fanatics. He never had a deal. So if he didn't have a deal, is he just trying to individually strike his own deal with Fanatics? Because how do the other guys do it? Do all the other guys go in and sign the NFLPA licensing and then away you go?
That I don't know.
Because if he's the only way that I'm asking is because I've never heard this before. He's the only one.
Yeah, me too.
Now, if McAfee would have said he signed a deal with Fanatics when he was in college, that deal carries him through his sophomore year in the NFL, and he wants to renegotiate somehow or try to void the contract. Okay, now we're at a standoff. I get that. But he's telling me that he doesn't have a deal with Fanatics. So I don't know what the problem is unless he's going to Fanatics as the only guy in the draft and saying, I want more, or
I think that
it could be last week's story that I told you, that his whole goal here may be just not to sign and own his own brand and get a jersey company that he likes to produce his specific jersey. Now, that company has to have a license agreement with the NFL because they can't just sell an Arizona Cardinals jersey.
Right.
I mean, they're not selling knockoffs from Marvin Harrison. They would maybe overseas, but not here. So all I'm saying is I think this is not about him sitting down with Fanatics and saying, hey, I don't care what all these other draft picks signed to do. I want my deal to be this number. It could be. Or it's him just slowing it down and controlling every move of his brand.
I think it could be the former. I think it's the former, that he be willing to work with Fanatics, but that price that you guys are handing out to, I don't know, the top 10 picks or all the rookies or whatever it is, I'm worth more than that. I want a more lucrative deal than what you're offering everyone else. That's my guess as to what is happening here. You know, if I'm a Cardinals fan, I wouldn't be too worried about this. You know, this is kind of an off the field thing. Like this, if we had a situation out of the gate where he's not seeing eye to eye with the front office about a rookie contract or whatever it may be, then I'd be like, okay, what are we really doing? But this is jersey stuff. At the end of the day, I think when we get to the fall, I don't think this is going to be a big talking point. I don't think this is going to take away from his game at all on the field. So this wouldn't really bother me if I were a Cardinal fan.
I don't see, and I like what he said at the end, which is maybe there's being more that's being made out of this than it is. However, it doesn't change the result that you can't buy his jersey right now if you want one, the official Fanatics jersey. But what's interesting to me is that it doesn't sound like he should have any real beef with Fanatics, meaning he just doesn't want to maybe do business right now with this situation. Because if Fanatics came to him when he was at Ohio State or during his sophomore year or whatever and said, hey, multi-year deal, this extends into your NFL career. And he's like, well, you know what? I'm not going to be here for my last year. My NFL career is going to start sooner than later. Let's hold off on this. I don't need the money right now. And I'll revisit it once I get drafted. So I don't think Fanatics is the bad guy in this. It doesn't sound like they tried to get over on him early. He just decided to maybe bet on himself, and here we are. And so now it's just odd that you don't hear this from Caleb Williams. You don't hear this from other guys. At least I haven't yet.
No, I haven't either. And maybe in Marvin's mind, he wants to be a bit of a trailblazer with this, right? Maybe he can be the first guy to pull this off, or maybe he can, shake the room up at Fanatics a little bit and have that company maybe look at what they've been offering guys, and maybe he'll be the first guy to get more money, and that'll trickle down to 2025, 2026 and beyond. Who knows?
No, I think you also nailed it there, that if this could open up some eyes on some future athletes going in and navigating these negotiations the same way. And all of a sudden, but if he wants total control over his branding and endorsement deals, then have at it.
But you brought up a really good point. That's got to somehow connect to the league in that company. So outside of Fanatics, I don't know how you pull that off. You just got to go to Fanatics and say, hey, throw some more commas my way, add some more zeros to this thing.
Or he doesn't care about having his jersey being worn by regular fans.
You buy get a piece of that, don't you? You want that, don't you? Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. It's interesting.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back with Aaron Freeman, Locked On Falcons, and we've heard this story being pitched as a good problem to have. Is it really? We'll ask him next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Join your Franklin County Auditor's Office this Saturday for Shred Hunger, a free document shredding and e-recycling event. Documents and electronics will be safely recycled free of charge. The Auditor's Office is also encouraging donations of non-perishable foods and household items to benefit local charities. Shred Hunger, sponsored by the Ohio EPA, will be held Saturday, May 4th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Brobst Park in Canal, Winchester. For more information, call Franklin County Auditor Michael Stenziano at 614-525-HOME. That's 614-525-4663.
Don't miss a minute of the action on the diamond with ESPN Bet. The exclusive sportsbook of ESPN is the only place to find offers and promotions from your favorite ESPN shows and personalities, including daily odds boost and home run specials all season long. New users can get a bet reset up to $1,000 in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. Download ESPN Bet today. What a play. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Attention all shoppers, get ready for unbelievable savings at Midwest Vapors. Our shelves are packed with incredible deals and our clearance section is overflowing. From premium cigars to disposables, Midwest Vapors has slashed prices across the board. Don't miss out. Swing by Midwest Vapors today and stock up on your favorites at an incredible price. Midwest Vapors, where quality meets affordability. Visit Midwest Vapors today at 2344 Stringtown Road in Grove City or online at MidwestVaporsOhio.com.
Bobby Carpenter here for Affinity Whole Health, the leader in the testosterone and hormone replacement therapy game. And weight loss too, that's right. Affinity offers semaglutide injections for weight loss in addition to their testosterone treatments so you can lose weight and build muscle. They customize a plan directly for you. They added peptides to my TRT. They've added semaglutide with my friend's testosterone, and the results are amazing. They're pumped about summertime and pool season, so check them out at feelgreatcolumbus.com. That's feelgreatcolumbus.com.
Here's a quick listening guide. When something's on the fan, it's on the station you're listening to right now. If I say something's on ESPN Columbus, it's on 1460 AM and the Fan's HD2. When in doubt, stream it on the Fan app. Thank you and good night.
Safe Auto Insurance is now Direct Auto Insurance. What's the difference? Basically, the name. Direct Auto offers savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, just like you're used to, which means you never have to make trade-offs when it comes to paying for car insurance. So don't even think about carpooling to work with Talkative Ted. It's time to stop compromising and keep driving with Direct Auto. Get a free quote at directauto.com or call 1-877-GO-DIRECT. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
It's back and bigger than ever before. The Buckeye Cruise for Cancer in the Fans Euchre Tournament. Mark your calendars for May 5th at the Ballroom at Hollywood Casino Columbus for a tournament with high stakes for a low buy-in. Sign up your team of two for just $50 at 971thefan.com. Every team's guaranteed 4 games with the top 16 teams advancing to the money round. It all benefits the Ohio State Comprehensive Cancer Center, James Cancer Hospital, and Solov Research Institute. Limited space available. Sign up your team today at 971thefan.com.
Hey there, business ballers and entrepreneurs. Ready to make your financial dreams come true? Well, get ready to score big with SwishFunding.com, the slam dunk solution for all your business funding needs. Just like that satisfying swish when the ball goes in, SwishFunding.com guarantees you a seamless funding experience. Working capital, expanding your business, upgrading your equipment, or even covering payroll. If you have at least $25,000 in monthly revenue and been in business for at least 1 year, qualifying is easier than a layup. At Swish Funding, we fund up to $5 million in 24 hours. SwishFunding.com's team will guide you every step of the way. No more banking red tape, just quick, decisive action to get you back in the game. Head over to SwishFunding.com and slam dunk your financial goals today. Remember, it's not just a shot in the dark, it's a surefire swish. Go to SwishFunding.com. That's SWISH funding.com. SwishFunding.com.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony's tennis shorts were so tight, they had to pixelate his crotch. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, happy to have you with us. It's been the story of the draft. It's had a lot of legs, and we'll continue it a little bit today and kind of get a on-site feel from our guy Aaron Freeman, host of Locked On Falcons, part of the Locked On Network, and he's with us now on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Aaron, welcome to the program.
Appreciate you guys having me.
Thank you. All right, so I said before we had you on that the people that really like this pick are pitching it as, hey, this is a good problem to have. The organization was saying it's a good problem to have. But I want to ask it this way to you. What's the worst case scenario here for you? Like, how did when this pick, how does it backfire completely in your mind? What's the worst case?
Well, I think it starts out with the Falcons struggling over the next 2 or so seasons with Kirk Cousins, and it leads to people building up the debut of Michael Penix as sort of this savior moment for the football team. And then he becomes not that savior, and he's just basically an average or below average quarterback. We know the quarterback hit rate, in round 1 is not great. It's less than 50%. And, with 6 of these guys taken in this most recent draft, the odds are probably telling us that there's more likely that 2 of these guys will hit and 4 of these guys may wind up busting. And I think that's the worst case scenario, where the Falcons not only don't get the boost for Kirk Cousins in the next couple of years, but then when it's time for Michael Penix to step on the field and potentially raise the level of quarterback play, he doesn't necessarily do that. And this current coaching staff and regime under Raheem Morris and general manager Terry Fontenot, they're out of the job 3 years from now.
Aaron, what do you understand about the communication, between the front office and Kirk Cousins prior to this Penix pick? Was he completely in the dark on this, or were they communicating with him throughout the process?
From what I understand, the Falcons were not communicating with Kirk Cousins about their process in going after a quarterback this high in the draft until they were on the clock, and it became a reality that they were going to take a quarterback at that point in time. And from what I understand, Kirk Cousins and his camp were somewhat blindsided. I think they operated under the assumption that most people operate under the assumption, which is after the Falcons gave him that $180 million contract with $100 million guaranteed over the next 2 years, that the Falcons were, at least for the foreseeable future, out of the quarterback market and ready to go sort of, I guess you could say, all in on Kirk Cousins over the next 2 or 3 years. But I think that wasn't necessarily the case. The Falcons were clearly looking for what we've kind of called an off-ramp to Kirk Cousins down the road. And the Falcons have communicated that they believe that they've been looking for the long-term answer at the quarterback position for the last 3 years, and they felt like Michael Penix and where they were picking this high with this many quarterbacks going that high in the draft was their best opportunity to sort of secure the long-term future of the franchise.
So, Aaron, what's Kirk's biggest fear here? Is it that the pressure of looking over his shoulder at Penix? Is it that the Falcons might, if he has a subpar season, might want to move on from him early? Like, what's the biggest fear here? Is it natural, just that, hey, I may lose my job before I want to?
Yeah, I think that's probably more of it. I think Kirk Cousins, when he signed with the Atlanta Falcons, was looking at Atlanta as a place that he could potentially retire. Obviously, they are sort of financially obligated to him for 2 more years. But theoretically could, with a 4-year contract, could play out another 4 years. And Kirk, in theory, could play out till he's 40 if he wanted to, and assuming that he played well. But now, because of the presence of Michael Penix, he could play well for the next 2 seasons, and the Falcons may decide, to potentially move on from him regardless. And then he'd be in a position at the age of 38 looking for another place to retire if that's not necessarily the Atlanta Falcons and he still wants to play. So I think Kirk kind of wanted to have this situation on his own terms, and there's, at this point in time, because of the presence of Michael Penix, it may not necessarily be on his own terms to decide what his future will be in a few years.
Zooming out from the quarterback situation, I wanted to hit you up about Kyle Pitts. I remember just the chatter about him coming out of college, and, you heard the terms unicorn, and this guy could be one of the next great tight ends in the league. Talk us through what you thought of him so far in the NFL, and is the best yet to come for Kyle Pitts.
I do think, the potential is there for the best yet to come. We saw him have a 1,000-yard season as a rookie. I was obviously, like so many people, was very high on Kyle Pitts and saw him as a sort of unique unicorn type of tight end that can sort of do it all. We saw glimpses of that in his rookie year. Unfortunately, the quarterback play kind of declined in the second year, going from Matt Ryan to Marcus Mariota. The Falcons tried to utilize him as this deep threat in their offense, and Mariota missed a lot of those throws. And then you couple that with the knee injury that he suffered last year that we thought initially was a sort of a minor MCL tear, which is an injury that doesn't necessarily require sort of season-ending surgery and can sort of naturally heal on its own. But then we discovered at the end of this past year, after watching Kyle Pitts kind of struggle through whatever he was recovering from, that it was a more serious injury with a PCL tear also part of it, which was a contributing factor to why his play had declined. And I think that's what gives you hope that, there's, with the upgraded quarterback with Kirk Cousins, as well as hopefully an upgrade in play calling, a change in his role, not necessarily being as much of the deep threat, but being that sort of chain movie tight end underneath that you see traditionally for most other tight ends in the league. I think you'll see a big year. But it is an important year for Kyle Pitts. It's kind of a make or break year if he can't necessarily, with the circumstances presumably being healthier with better quarterback play and better play calling. If he doesn't have this type of production this year, then, that's going to raise a lot more questions about whether or not he's going to have a long-term future in Atlanta beyond this season.
We're visiting with Aaron Freeman, Locked On Falcons host here on Rothman and Ice and the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. All right, Aaron, so they lost 4 of their last 5 last year, and they still won 7 overall. Are you flipping the script this year? Are they going from 7-10 to 10-7, or are they much better than that even?
I think that's probably a healthy expectation for the Falcons. Could they be better than that? Absolutely. If all these things go right, if Kirk Cousins looks like the player he was pre-injury, if their play calling under Zach Robinson, if he's sort of that next sort of guru in the Sean McVay coaching tree that turns out to be able to produce a top 5 type of offense with the weapons that the Falcons have assembled, that could raise their ceiling for a football team to be more than a 10-win team. But they still have a lot of questions to answer, especially on the defensive side of the ball. That may be the biggest thing that's maybe holding back this team. Obviously, you don't know 100% certainty what Kirk Cousins is going to look like post-injury at his age. And so I think probably the safer assumption is this team should be poised for a winning record, 9 or 10 wins. But going beyond that, until we start seeing some of these pieces fall into place, it's going to be hard for me to project more than that at this point in time.
So here in Ohio, we got to watch Jesse Bates, play at a pretty high level for Cincinnati for a while. Couldn't figure out a contract situation, in his last year down in Cincinnati. And then he ended up in Atlanta. Talk about year one for him in Hotlanta and what he provided for the Falcons a year ago.
Yeah, he was basically the defensive MVP for the Falcons last year. His ability to create turnovers on the back end was a big part of why the Falcons defense for most of the season until those last couple of games when they tended to struggle a little bit, as you pointed out, losing 4 out of the last 5. There was a big reason why their defense was playing as well as they were for the first 3 quarters of the season. His sort of intelligence and ability to sort of anticipate throws. There were many times throughout the season where you would see him kind of bail on his typical deep safety responsibilities because he just knew the play that was coming, the routes that were running, and jumped those routes, and it led to a bunch of turnovers for the Falcons. And then many of those turnovers were sort of critical to the Falcons winning some close games sprinkled throughout the season. So Jesse Bates absolutely lived up to the hype last year for the Atlanta Falcons, and the hope is that he can continue to do so in year 2.
Great job, man. I'm looking forward to it. They're definitely the favorite in the division, and we'll see what Kirk can bring to the table and how they perform. Thanks a lot, Aaron. Thanks for jumping on.
Appreciate you guys having me.
Yep, Aaron Freeman, Locked On Falcons. Yeah, I mean, the worst-case scenario is what he said, which is that now maybe Penix is ready to go right away, but the worst-case scenario is that Cousins underperforms, the Boo Birds start coming, and the pressure on the organization to put in their 24-year-old rookie to save them in a season where they are the favorite in the division.
Yeah.
We don't have a season to just throw away anymore. Right? They're not Carolina.
Right.
They don't have another year to just kind of build.
They're all in right now.
Correct.
They're all in. And I think things could get funky, too, in the next couple weeks and in a couple months, right, where OTAs start to pop off, and if Penix gets in there and hits the ground running and we don't know where Kirk is with his recovery from the Achilles and all that, the chatter could start early, but at the end of the day, for me at least, I'm following the money. They paid Kirk Cousins to be the guy. He's going to be the guy for a year or two, and then after that, that's when things could change.
All right, we'll take a break, and one GM said he's everything you want in a football player. Who is it, and what impact will he make? We'll tell you next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
The Big Nine was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Mother's Day is Sunday, May 12th. It's that one very special day each year that you can show your mom just how much she means to you and how much you appreciate all she's done for you. How about beautiful, colorful flowering gifts from Oakland Nursery? Hanging baskets exploding with flowers, hand-potted roses in more colors than you could name, and beautiful annuals for a spectacular garden. All that color, beauty, and love starts at Oakland. Mother Nature's beauty is one of the few things in life worthy of your mom. Happy Mother's Day from Oakland Nursery.
This is the absolute worst time of the year to be dealing with joint pain. You can't do the stuff outdoors you love, the stuff you want to do, the hiking, the running, the playing on the beach. It's being around friends and family. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. If you're tired of achy joints, you need to call my friends over at QC Kinetics before you agree to any risky surgeries or steroids or harmful medications. That's what tens of thousands of real-life patients around the country did, just like me with my knee. My dad did with his knee. Some of our friends and family who have done it with knees and shoulders and a variety of joints. They're out walking around now, enjoying the time outside. Or you could be like a guy like Chad, who wants to live life to the fullest, but his knees have been bothering him. He's been on pain meds forever. He went to crutches on his high school reunion, but that was before he found QC Kinetics, and now he's bouncing around like the pain is gone. And QC Kinetics has a national director in Dr. Mitch Mitchell Sheen Cup, who's been doing this for over 20 years. So go check them out at 614-208-4544. That's 614-208-4544.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Common Man and T-Bone.
The Utah Uglies.
Would you like that?
Yes.
Hey, what are you doing tonight? You watching the Uglies bump? Oh, we're bumping the Uglies.
Common Man and T-Bone.
Sponsored by the Hinderer Motor Company.
Weekdays 3 to 6 on The Fan.
Tropical Smoothie Cafe here with your daily reminder to get on Tropic Time. Take 10. Sip a refreshing smoothie and manifest the Your Cabana side. Slade hot yoga? Treat yourself. Crushed back-to-back meetings? Get that me time. Adulted a little extra today? You deserve a vacay. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Self-care alert, new Tropic Bowls are here. Try one of our 4 flavors like our new acai bowl. Your vacay is a Tropic Bowl away.
If you're about to get engaged or ready to walk down the aisle, your true love deserves a true jeweler, the Diamond Seller. As a true jeweler, we not only have designer collections to meet your bridal needs, but we also have talented in-house designers who can create something truly one of a kind. Visit the Diamond Seller today.
Here's your cool tip from Custom Air. Remember to avoid blocking the vents around your home to optimize your HVAC system. At least 12 inches of clearance will help with efficient airflow and better comfort. Keep your family and home cool with Custom Air. Go to customairco.com. Custom solutions, custom comfort, Custom Air.
This NFL Draft Player Profile is brought to you by ServPro.
Today, the NFL is full of general managers who erase past draft boards and pretend like it never even happened. For instance, in 2014, a guard out of Notre Dame fell to the Dallas Cowboys at pick number 16. Zach Martin, remember, a left tackle at Notre Dame. Durable, 52 starts, an Iron Man, a projected inside because he didn't have the great arm length. And what a player he has become. Martin has been selected first-team All-Pro in 7 of 10 seasons, including this year.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 10% when you buy 68 or more OSB sheathing. Plus, get an extra 5% off every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's business credit card. Get low prices on the materials you need today because Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last, discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. 5% offer subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store at Lowe's.com/credit for details. U.S. only.
A fan poll is sponsored by ER Auto Care, masters of our craft.
We ask dumb questions. You give dumb answers. Vote now at 971thefan.com. Helping you ace your afternoon. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right. Go back into the draft and one of our favorite picks because it was reunited and it feels so good. It was Cade Stover going to the Texans in the 4th round. And CJ has talked about this, right? About this pick?
I haven't seen it. I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
I must feel like if he got into Nick Caserio's ear a little bit on that. Or if they said to him, okay, just give us your thoughts. He's on our board. You're like,
yeah. Right? I think they probably trust CJ with his word based off of last year's story where he wanted Tank Dell coming out of the combine. And we saw how that translated onto the field right away. So they may look at CJ and say, this guy's got an eye for some talent, even though there's a bit of an emotional tie to Cade with those guys being Buckeyes, but he did it last year and he may be doing it again.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, so Caserio explained why the team selected Stover with the 123rd pick in the 4th round. And do we have the sound, or it's just a quote, CB?
We have sound from Nick Caserio talking about Cade Stover.
Yeah. Let's hear it. Thanks.
Stories about Cade Stover, things you guys heard?
Yeah, whatever it is, it's elite. I mean, this guy is as tough and hard-nosed a player that they had in the program. Just kind of going back to the question and D'Amico's answer about developing players, I'd say Cade's a good example of a player who's only played tight end for 2 years, so he's certainly not a finished product, but he has the mindset and the work ethic to improve. I mean, how he was raised. I mean, this guy is everything you want in a football player and then more. I mean, he probably played hurt this year. I mean, I think he had an MCL or had an issue where, quite frankly, it would have limited some other players, but he just braced it up and he just kept playing football. So, I mean, I don't want to speak for D'Amico, but I think we feel the same way. This is probably one of our favorite, football players in the entire draft, regardless of position, because of his mentality, because of his mindset. And he still is developing as a player. I mean, 2 years ago, he was playing defensive end in the Rose Bowl against Utah. Now he's, played tight end for 2 years, and here he is getting picked in the bottom of the 4th round. And his best position is, we think tight end. That's why we drafted him. So, but I mean, blue collar as they come, and from a makeup, traits, toughness, mentality. I mean, this is an elite guy.
It's Mr. Ohio football. That's all you got to say. And when he came in, he redshirted. He played, like you said, in a couple games or a few games as a reserve defensive end on special teams, of course. And then all of a sudden, played in those games, linebacker and then tight end. And it wasn't like he was catching footballs out of the gate. And so he's just started to develop. Like he said, it's a great rise to fame.
Yeah.
Because he goes from a guy who redshirted and was playing as a reserve defensive end to the Big Ten's tight end of the year. And he was second team all Big Ten behind Colston Loveland of Michigan. So got into the finalist area for the John Mackey, which is the best tight end in the country. And, we know his father played the position at Bowling Green State back in the 90s. And it's one of those guys that now, is he a catch first, block second guy? Yeah, and that may have to change a little bit in the NFL because they're going to need him to do that inline blocking for sure.
And the good thing about the situation you just heard from Nick Caserio is that they know they've got time to develop him even more, right? So you laid out the accolades and what he's already been able to do. It could be kind of scary to think about what he could be in 2025 or 2026, and especially being attached to what looks like is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league in C.J. Stroud. So he's going into a situation now in H-Town where there's not a lot of pressure on him at all, right? With the moves that they've made this offseason with the big swing and bringing in Stephon Diggs, and they just handed Dalton Schultz a 3-year, $36 million contract in March. So he's going to be the guy at that position. Schultz and CJ had great chemistry last year. I mean, Schultz was second on the team in targets. So he'll be able to handle that veteran workload right away. But now Cade can go in there, learn from Dalton, ask him questions about, what it takes to be a good tight end in the league. And when you're seeing this, from a defense, how do I react to that? When you're seeing this from an offensive lineman, how do I block that guy? And I just won't be surprised at all. And in the coming years, if we're talking about, Cade Stover and Tank Dell and Nico Collins, and we'll see if Stephon's going to be around. But those first three guys that I mentioned being the core around CJ, that's going to have this Houston Texans team in good position to do some good things. So, yeah, I mean, you heard blue collar, you heard elite. There's a lot to work with when it comes to Cade Stover, and that dude is in a great situation right now in the NFL.
Yeah, and they weren't picking. They didn't have a first round pick, right?
I don't think they
did. So they were kind of in a weird spot. And so I just looked. They took a corner. They took the corner from Georgia, Lassiter, at pick 42. And, he's not a burner, but he can play in a lot of different schemes. And they took the offensive lineman out of Notre Dame, Blake Fisher, because they picked also in the second round at 59. And then a DB at 78, and then that's where they got Stover at 123. Mm-hmm. And like you mentioned, Schultz is under contract through 26.
Mm-hmm.
And think about that. We have a tight end that we have under contract for this year, next year, and the next year. And that didn't stop us from taking CJ's teammate who plays the position.
There's room for him.
That says everything.
It really does. It absolutely does. And there's room for him in the next couple of years. You can throw out those two tight end sets. You get down in the red zone. We saw Cade do some things on there. He can box some guys out with his frame and catch a couple touchdowns this year. Won't be surprised at all if he finds a way to contribute. Maybe not at the highest level. We know with the receivers that they have, they're going to be cooking people with those guys. But you did mention in there that they took in offensive linemen, in the second round. This core of this team, if that guy can develop, Laramie Tunsil, the left tackle, is the highest paid left tackle in the NFL. When it comes to AAV, we know they just brought in Joe Mixon. We'll see what he has, as far as tread on the tire at this point in his career. But the Texans are going to be a handful, man. They're absolutely going to be a handful. Maybe there's going to be, maybe some sophomore slump moments from CJ here or there throughout the season, but I don't expect too much of that. And that guy's going to be connecting with Cade in due time.
They believe they can develop guys.
Yeah.
They do. And that's why they took Blake Fisher out of Notre Dame at pick 59 on that offensive line. He wasn't ranked as high as some of the other guys on the board I see, and there may have been safer guys with more upside, but they liked him and they feel they can develop him. To your point, he's not going to be needed right away, which is beautiful for them because of Tunsil and Titus Howard. So they're there. I just checked their odds right now to win it all. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're favored better than the Packers, the Dolphins, the Falcons, who we just talked about, the Jets with Aaron Rodgers coming back, the Rams.
I buy it. And then
CB's Brownies.
I mean, we're talking about the offense, but you flip it over to defense. Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter was a big free agent acquisition, as he's going to be able to heat up, quarterbacks and help out in the run game too. So this Texans team, you can see the pillars that they have in place, but now they sprinkled in some veteran talent. They may be ready to go, but the AFC is going to be it's going to be wild, as it always is.
CB wants revenge. Revenge against CJ and the boys from Texas. Browns currently 40-1, Maddie, to win it all. Okay. CB sprinkle a little Finsky on the Brownies.
Well, CB's got to save that money to help for the new stadium that they're getting out there. That's what.
Well, he's also got to save. Yeah, and if he wants that, he'll just cash out after 7 games in the season. And get
so when they eventually do move the Brook Park with
cents.
this new stadium, do they have to change the name to the Brook Park Browns?
Sounds great. Hey, whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes. We've got, by the way, the difference between Cincinnati right now and the Brownies.
Tell me at the top.
To win it all.
I want to know at the top.
I think you'll be surprised.
Okay, tell me at the top.
All right, we'll do that. And Maddie's already scouted next year's crops with the scouts. He'll tell you next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
It's child's play to donate your car, truck, RV, or boat to Ronald McDonald House Charities of Central Ohio. They'll pick it up free of charge, steer you through the paperwork, and a hefty tax deduction rolls your way as you help provide a home away from home for families of seriously ill, hospitalized children. For more information about donating your vehicle to Ronald McDonald House Charities, visit rmhc-centralohio.org or call 614-CARS-HELP. That's 614-CARS-HELP.
Goals. Have you written yours down? We have, and we review them often. This is Mike Weens, founder of CARE Heating and Cooling. CARE's goals are defined by measuring many things, and our most important goals are not measured in dollars. CARE constantly seeks feedback through surveys and online reviews, not only from our existing customers, but new ones as well. CARE tracks how often we solved your problem the first time, and if CARE was easy to contact and convenient to deal with. Was a carbon monoxide test done? Was the reason for a repair made clear? Did our technician adequately explain the difference between a required repair and a recommended service? We want to know if our technicians treated you and your home with respect and care, and were our customers' needs thoroughly analyzed and addressed. Simply put, CARE Heating and Cooling sets goals designed to make CARE the best service company in Central Ohio. CARE Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
Tyler from Wendy's here. The best part of Wendy's Cinnabon Pull-Apart is every part, especially if you get it with a small coffee or soft drink for just $5. Get to Wendy's for a Cinnabon Pull-Apart today.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's. U.S. price and participation may vary. Cinnabon is a registered trademark of Cinnabon Franchisor SPD, LLC.
Hi, this is Bob McElligott for Schottenstein Roofing. If you need repairs or replacement for your roof, siding, gutters, or windows, call Schottenstein Roofing at 614-321-8888. Schottenstein Roofing, a proud partner of the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
The Home Depot wants every mom to have their own outdoor oasis this Mother's Day, so give her the gift of the perfect outdoor space with some new patio and deck furniture, like the Stylewell Park Point 4-piece patio set, a stylish and comfortable place to entertain when she wants to, or relax when she needs to get away. And with convenient delivery, you won't have to stress over getting it to her either. Shop outdoor furniture like the Stylewell Park Point 4-piece patio set right now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. How about the Columbus Crew? They are off to the CONCACAF Champions Cup final after beating Monterrey 3-1 last night. Aiden Morris, who scored one of the goals, said it was a fun night.
The team showed great resilience. Coming from a goal down, it was awesome. It's such an amazing stadium. The fans were unbelievable. It was cool. It was an amazing experience. It wasn't easy coming and play. It's tough. Glad to go on to another final.
The Crew will play Pachuca for the championship on June 1st. The Guardians wrap up their series with the Astros down in Houston at 8:10 tonight. Logan Allen gets the start for Cleveland. The Columbus Clippers continue their series with the Toledo Mud Hens. 6:15 first pitch over at Huntington Park. NBA playoffs, the Pacers host the Bucks at 6:30 and the 76ers host the Knicks at 9. This one's sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Earn a $200 cash bonus at BMI when you open a new free checking account. Visit bmifcu.org/free.
Thoughtfully discussing the merits of Home Run Inn's frozen pizza. This is Rothman and Ice.
Second hour of the program, Rothman and Ice. We'll go Locked On Reds host Jeff Carr at 1:33, and we'll figure things out. Listen, they're right in there. I know everybody expected, including the man to my right, that they would be leading the division right now, but there's no real panic through 30 games or 31 games. They are 3.5 back. They've lost a couple. The Brewers and Cubbies. I had the Cubbies before the year, not the Brewers. I didn't think they would be 19-11. And then the Pirates, who got out hot, and you were right, they were going to regress. So
yeah, and then the Cubs, man, they just won't stop winning. Like, that's the thing. And the scary part about what they're doing right now is
without the pitching,
man. And not only that, Cody Bellinger and Suzuki, and I mean, if you want a good baseball story, go check out Imanaga right now. What he's been doing, the big free agent acquisition that they signed from Japan this offseason. That dude, he hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs in a start. 7 starts. It's crazy. So, yeah, the Cubs they're holding on, but my Reds, we're treading water just a little bit, but we got some injuries too, and hopefully when those guys come back, we can still be attached to the Cubs within 4 games, and we got months to go.
You're chasing the in the Battle of Ohio, you are behind.
Guardians
4 wins.
Another tough one yesterday.
20-10 right now.
They're banging with those Houston Astros down there. But, yeah, the Guardians, they're in a good spot.
I'll put them in a bet 365 this afternoon, probably.
The Guards?
I might do something with Logan Allen. I'll get your guys' opinion on this. Because remember last week when J. Lou was on, I'm like, he's trending in a bad way for me. Yeah. And he's going to stay on this fantasy team maybe for another start. He better do something today to earn my trust to keep him. Do I trust him?
Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians.
They are. We're not going to do it now, though.
No, we'll wait. I just want to throw that out there. Just thought it fit the conversation.
It does. Well, and that's why I'm going to do it today. I'm going to bet on them today. This kind of opened my eyes a little bit with the Super Bowl and the odds, because when I saw that the Houston Texans were 16-1, I started thinking, would I bet on them if I had if I wanted to take this as a roulette board and I want to pick a few numbers to bet on, and let's say I had 5 teams and I wanted value plays. Houston is probably a pretty good value play at 16-1. Now they are in the tough AFC, but you'd have to almost like their value better than you would like the Buffalo Bills at 12-1. There's just a better vibe around the Houston Texans. But I was pretty surprised to see the Dolphins at 22-1.
Low for you?
A little low. Yeah. I mean, nice value is what I mean with the way the Bills have come back to the field a little bit. I have to admit that. Yeah. I mean, that's an 11-win team. By the way, they both won 11 last year. Just the Bills were so hot to end the year. And the Dolphins, I guess you would say, I don't know. They were very disappointing in the playoffs against Kansas City. I know it was freezing. It was at KC. But the fact that they couldn't score more than 7 points with that offense and Tua couldn't throw for 200, I mean, do we blame it on the weather a little bit?
Yeah, I think we can give them that, AR. But to add to your point, they weren't beating good teams all year last season, right? That was the thing for the Dolphins, right? They can get up and down, and they put 70 on the Broncos and beat up on some other teams. But when they had to play teams with a 500 record or better, things did not work out well for the Dolphins. I know they lost a lot on defense. That defensive line took a lot of hits with injury. Christian Wilkins left them to go to Las Vegas. The Bills at 12-1. We're going to find out a lot about Josh Allen this year, right? I mean, can you really get a guy in Keon Coleman ready to go? Is Dalton Kincaid really ready to step up and maybe be their number one option in the pass game? Curtis Samuel's over there. Now, this is why, you pay your quarterback $55 million to where, you can lose a guy like Diggs, but stay in the mix. And we know when Josh Allen's right, the dude's incredible. He really is incredible. So now he's got to piece it all together and play clean football. And McDermott's a defensive head coach, so I won't be surprised if their defense is good again. But, yeah, I'm with you. Bills are a massive question mark now.
This comes down to which quarterback you trust in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because Miami, you're right. They were a good team last year, but they got thrashed by a lot of really good teams. Yeah. And it proved to me when they went to Kansas City. Now, there's no shame in losing a playoff game at Kansas City. It's the way they lost. They weren't ready for it. And it starts me to wonder again, when you take this warm weather, high-flying offense out of Miami in January, and you put them in a place like Buffalo or Kansas City or Baltimore even, and you ask them to be the same team, they can't be.
I'm willing to give them a little wiggle room with this because didn't we watch them 2 years ago go into Buffalo and either almost win the game with like a third-string quarterback, and they lost in the wild card round in 22, 34-31.
They did.
Without Tua. So, I don't want to overreact too much to the bad weather stuff because we did watch them a couple years ago put up a good product in Buffalo when it was really cold. But the last thing that we saw was a complete embarrassment in Kansas City. There's just no denying that. Yeah. But their offense, they'll probably be up there again with the best of them.
The reason I like them at 22-1 is just because of that time you talked about, which is their growth, where they are right now. They were humbled last year in the playoffs. It's not like picking anybody outside of Kansas City in the AFC is a smart thing. But I just think at 22-1, they should get in again. Right? They should get in. I'd be very surprised if they don't get in. And Buffalo, we really don't know what they are. And Buffalo's being offered a 12-1 right now. So you're getting an additional 10 spot from Buffalo to Miami for two teams that had the same exact record last year. And I know all records aren't created equal. But then I saw Cincinnati at 12-1.
Yeah.
Cincinnati is essentially the third best betting favorite, or fourth, to win the Super Bowl. They're tied with Buffalo and Detroit. And I thought, wow, they're the gap between the Bengals and the Browns right now, same conference to win it all. Browns are 40-1. Bengals are 12-1.
How about this?
Are they that much better than the Browns?
I mean,
same division, same conference.
When Joey B's in there, I think our eyes have seen that they're a level above. They're just a level above, even though I think the Browns have gotten after the Bengals pretty good over the last couple of seasons. What jumped out to me is the Bears have better odds than the Browns. The Bears are 33-1, and the Browns are 40-1.
That's
Is that where we're at?
Yeah.
That I don't know about that. I see the vision of what the Bears offense could be. I do. But are they a better football team right now than the Cleveland Browns?
So the only thing I can come to is, well, your answer is they could be, but it'd be tough to say definitively that they are. They're fairly close. You're 33-1 and 40-1, but you're right, they are better. And maybe it's just, although they are in an equally tough division with Detroit and Green Bay right now, you would think that it's got to be NFC related. I don't know.
Maybe it's that. I don't like that bet on the Bears right now. It's still a rookie quarterback.
I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't bet on that. I do really like, though, right now, I like the Jets at 25-1. I do. The value. I know he's an OG and he's 40 and they've got questions, can their offensive line hold up? Tyron Smith's an older guy, and that's a big if. But if they do get consistent offensive line play with that defense, who I think could be a top 5, top 7 defense in the league next year, I like the Jets' value at 25-1 right now.
I can't argue with that. It's good value. I mean, winning the Super Bowl, Aaron Rodgers, when healthy, we didn't get to see him. We don't know how much of this even set him back, how tentative he's going to be. He can run. He's not a sprinter, but he does have that ability, how this will affect his instincts. And then, you know what I hate? It's not whether Aaron knows he can run from here to there. It's whether he knows he can run from here to there when he doesn't expect to have to do it. It's that whiplash moment. It's that cut. It's that whatever. You're holding your breath with both those guys, Cousins and Rodgers. But you're right. I mean, this is it for him. If he doesn't stay healthy this year,
this is it for everybody.
I feel like retirement's in is going to happen real soon.
That wouldn't be surprising at all. And if they don't, if the Jets don't get to what they are probably at least the divisional game, they're probably cleaning house. I would think Saleh, Joe Douglas, there's so much pressure on this situation right now that they got to get in and win a game or two in the postseason this year.
They're in a good spot in their division, and that we've already talked about the Patriots. We know what they are right now. Do you really Miami's a tough out. We just talked about that. And Buffalo, we don't know whether it's addition by subtraction or not on what they got with this rookie receiver and Keon Coleman versus losing Diggs. I like them. They were a 7-win team without Rodgers. That's saying something.
Right. And if he can get back to...
What's his wins above replacement? What's he worth? 3 to 4?
If he's playing at an MVP level, absolutely. But I don't even know if he has to be the MVP type of guy for them to be legit, because their defense is going to require their offense to do that much.
They had Zach Wilson, Trevor Siemian, and Tim Don't Call Me Susan Boyle. And they won 7 games.
I'm saying it's because their defense is nasty, man. Their defense is ridiculous. And so now, a familiar face that they added on offense was a guy we watched play against Ohio State last year, Malachi Corley. Remember him from Western Kentucky? And he had a pretty good game for what are they, the Hilltoppers, I believe?
That's right.
The Hilltoppers. He scored a touchdown in that game. So he's going to pair with Garrett Wilson, and they drafted Olu Fashanu from Penn State, first-round tackle there. So I like what they're doing and trying to support Aaron Rodgers. It's just a massive question mark, and that's why, it's not the best bet to make right now, but I'm willing to do it at the moment, because I think if they get cooking early, obviously those odds are going to change, and then you won't be able to get the same juice on it as you can right now.
I agree. Yeah, that's it. You tie it up for a while, but it's a nice little. It's like having that lottery ticket in your pocket, but it's not a week away. It's months away.
It's like that ticket what CB brought back from Vegas, right? For Ohio State. To win it all.
Massive.
What was the juice on that, CB? 20?
I got that at 5 to 1.
5 to 1. I don't know what I was thinking. 5 to 1. Where is that? Is it on the refrigerator at home right now? You look at it every day?
No, I keep it in the safe.
Okay. Keep it in the safe.
Yes.
This man's got a safe.
That's a lot of money he's got tied up, right? It's interesting. He got Ohio State at 5 to 1, and I think the highest they were offered this year in the start was 6 to 1. And now on Bet365, they're down to 4.5 to 1. So they're right around where they are. But this is the lowest they've been offered, at 4.5 to 1. And depending on what happens in that game in Oregon, that flip-flops things. Oregon's being offered right now at 10 to 1. But the whole thing is interesting because it's a 12-teamer. You lose it, You're not out. So I don't know how much the odds are really going to fluctuate.
We talked to Max Chadwick yesterday from Pro Football Focus. Does a good job covering college football, and he said, "Hey, that's his game of the year. That's the game of the year. Is that Oregon-Ohio State game, and what that could do for the rankings and just all of those things." I can't wait, man. And it's in Eugene. Is that a night game? Do we know we got kick time for that?
I don't know.
Probably don't have kick time for that.
I think so.
I hope that's got to be a night game, man.
Yeah, it would be nice if it was.
They usually start to come out around now, especially the big ones.
Okay.
So keep an eye out.
Yeah, we got kick time.
It can't be a night game.
No?
Because
it's a 3-hour difference.
Yeah,
so
it can't be a night.
I don't know.
Well,
maybe like a
night game for us.
4 o'clock start there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For us,
Well, get the sun setting in the second half. Some of that going on.
Right. I just want to be clear. Like, they're not kicking that thing off as a night game but we might be getting it when it's night here.
Maybe a 9 a.m. start, big noon Saturday.
Oh man, I feel bad for those West Coast fans. Adjusting to that,
dude.
USC, UCLA, wake up! The boys are on.
This is what everyone wanted.
Well, it's because of the money.
Let's move them around, fly them around the country.
Yep.
I really am hoping one day that my theory pays off. That one of these dudes with a personalized jet endorsement will say, "Guys, I'll see you there."
It's going to be Jackson Dart. I'm telling you. It's going to be Jackson Dart this year. I can't wait.
We've got a guy rejoining an old team, but did he join the right team? We'll tell you next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We're your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
And At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every goal, every game, every point, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a game-winning goal in the final seconds of OT or a shot on goal in the first period.
Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from the other window place.
Wilson, what's with the magic wand?
I'm trying to make our screens do that vanishing thingy yours do.
You mean the disappearing roll screens? Where the screen is there if you want it, or retracts and disappears if you don't?
Yeah, now, is that done with real magic?
No, it's not.
So I should probably take back the wizard's robe.
Yeah, I would. Get the window that Columbus homeowners rate the most trusted at PellaColumbus.com.
Attention all shoppers, get ready for unbelievable savings at Midwest Vapors. Our shelves are packed with incredible deals and our clearance section is overflowing. From premium cigars to disposables, Midwest Vapors has slashed prices across the board. Don't miss out. Swing by Midwest Vapors today and stock up on your favorites at an incredible price. Midwest Vapors, where quality meets affordability. Visit Midwest Vapors today at 2344 Stringtown Road in Grove City or online at MidwestVaporsOhio.com.
There's a little slice of heaven in a mountain town escape. A pace of life that's less hurried, more authentic, where people greet you with a smile and experiences feel down to earth, yet elevated. From Appalachian art to wineries and craft breweries, live music to a lively spirit. This is West Virginia. We call it almost heaven. Plan your getaway now at wvtourism.com.
Rise and shine, jabronis.
What a show this morning.
There's only one place where Buckeye legends lay the smackdown. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekday mornings starting at 6.
Give me a juice box, Biatch.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Bobby Carpenter here for Affinity Whole Health, the leader in the testosterone and hormone replacement therapy game. And weight loss too, that's right. Affinity offers semaglutide injections for weight loss in addition to their testosterone treatments so you can lose weight and build muscle. They customize a plan directly for you. They added peptides to my TRT. They've added semaglutide with my friend's testosterone, and the results are amazing. They're pumped about summertime and pool season, so check them out at feelgreatcolumbus.com. That's feelgreatcolumbus.com.
Take action with Logan Services. Call now for savings up to $2,700 on a qualifying train system and 0% APR financing for 72 months. It's hard to stop a train with a system for every home and budget. Schedule your installation now and pick one freebie. Installation takes just 1 day. We make home comfort easy, so book your free estimate now. Fast, friendly service, Logan Services.
Flexible, secure, fun. Oh, and great pay, too. Are you not sure what you want to do for a career? Or are you thinking of changing careers? Being a dental hygienist or dental assistant may be the perfect fit for you and provides all of these perks, plus more. Talk with a dentist in your community or visit ODA.org to learn more. Become a valuable member of the dental team and start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
Glow Fiber Business is now in Ohio, and your business is our priority. Glow Fiber delivers reliably fast, custom, and prepackaged internet plans to meet the growing needs of your business. And our dependable 24/7 personal support means your business stays connected. Glow Fiber is here, and we mean business. Find out more at 833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiberbusiness.com today. Glow Fiber Business is not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Get ready for a warm afternoon across central Ohio. We're talking highs in the mid-80s for today, of a mix of sun and clouds, though we are watching for some pop-up showers and storms as we head into the afternoon as well. Those chances for rain increase as we head toward Friday. Highs still in the 80s Friday, with temperatures dropping to the 70s for Saturday. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Sign up at oh.bet365.com. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus. Windows and doors that go beyond.
All right. The one team we haven't talked about today, when we went through that entire NFL deal, because they're always a little bit overvalued, but maybe this year they're properly valued, are the Dallas Cowboys at 16-1 to win it all. You want to talk about a team that can't be trusted when they get to the postseason? It's them. It absolutely is them. Yeah. And it has to be them. They're the most, there's just so much going on with them right now as far as the future, but the present is still a decent play as far as the division. Do you really trust the Eagles in that locker room right now? Can our boy get it right? Sirianni over there, a.k.a. Nick Foligno.
They got, he does look like Nick Foligno. They got new coordinators again in Philly. Kellen Moore went over there, and they brought in the OG Vic Fangio to coach up a defense, and I'm sure that played some type of factor into why they didn't pop off last year. I know Jalen Hurts was banged up too, but yeah, you're right. Philly's got to get off the mat a little bit after going to the Super Bowl a couple years ago.
That's who it is, right? I mean, there's no other.
Well, Bet365's telling us, AR, that the NFC East right now, it's up for grabs because they've got both Dallas and Philly.
Up for grabs between those two teams.
Those two teams. Yeah, my bad. I should have clarified that. But you got the Cowboys and the Eagles at plus 120 each right now to win that division. Giants and Commanders coming in at 10-1, plus 1,000. So for Dallas, because you got, look, the reunion's on, and you got Dak excited about it. He's saying, quote, "I'm super excited, just obviously knowing our history, my experience with him as a brother. But in this case, as a teammate, understanding what he brings to the team, just the locker room alone, the culture he sets, a guy that does everything the right way from the locker room to the field." And then on the other side of that, you got Zeke saying, AR, that he's coming back for unfinished business. So Dak and Zeke, the homies are back together. The vibes are really good right now, and that's fine. I'm all here for that. But I think the bigger issue at hand is are they going to get a deal done with CeeDee Lamb? Right? Like, because if CeeDee Lamb isn't a part of the Cowboys for whatever reason in 2024, their ceiling significantly lowers for me. I think they'll get it done, but that's the elephant in the room right now. That's the bigger deal than Zeke coming home and rocking 15 again in Jerry's world.
Yeah, I don't have any reason to believe that Lamb. Here's the problem. I assume, and it's probably the right assumption, you guys tell me if you agree with me, that since he's next, that CeeDee Lamb wants to be the highest paid receiver in NFL history, right? Like, I'm up.
Yeah, and it'd probably be smart for him, right, to get this done before Jamar and Justin. He's not getting their deal. I could see it. Like, would you be comfortable with the deal Amon-Ra got and giving that to CD?
What was that again?
4 for 120 and 70 and some change guaranteed.
4 for 1.
CD was great last year. He was awesome last year.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to laugh, but he's probably not worth that. Probably not worth all that, but it's close enough. You're not going to short him. He's not going to be under $25 million.
Right.
That he's not going to be.
If he watches and sits back and whatever these deals get done with Justin and Jamar, and sees those guys, I don't know, get $35 a year and $80-90 million guaranteed, can he go? I mean, he can, but what's the reaction from Steven and Jerry Jones if he comes and asks him that? I don't think they're giving him that deal.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That's why when you ask the question, boy, I hope this gets done. I think the only thing that doesn't get it done is if he digs in and says, I have to be the highest paid receiver in NFL history today. Doesn't matter about tomorrow, today. If somebody passes me, so be it. But I need to be the next guy. So that 4-year 120 you just tossed out with
70, let's say 75 guaranteed at signing.
I don't know if I'd do that at signing, but I would lock it in. I'd lock him into that amount of money through 26 or whatever.
If you were running the show, your contracts would be heavy incentivized, wouldn't they?
Yes.
You'd be that type of GM. Every player.
Certain guys have proven it, right?
CD's that guy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, the only, I've always said the only predictor of future behavior is past behavior. It's the only thing we have. And so I'm going to say that if all of this is just a balance, right? If he gets 4 years, $120 million, and we guarantee him $55 million at signing.
Ooh, I don't think he's signing that.
Exactly. And that's probably why it's not getting signed.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I can come in $15-20 million short of what Amon-Ra got guaranteed. after what I just did a year ago.
Well, we're going to guarantee that amount. It's just going to take a little longer to get there.
Yeah,
but you're right. It's signing. By the way, I think that's what's probably holding it up. I mean, it's Cowboys. Where are they on all their other pending?
Well, that's the other.
It's not just him.
That's the domino effect that it could have, right? If you do give him $75 million guaranteed, how does that affect Micah Parsons? Yeah. And Micah Parsons knocking on your door, GM Rothman, and saying,
well,
"I need to be."
It's a balance.
I need to be the highest paid defensive end in the league. And then Dak. Hey, GM Rothman.
Hello.
What do you got for me? They're in a tough spot. It feels like the momentum is behind Dak.
Like a waiting room at a psychiatrist office.
So I would not want to be Jerry and
amongst
Steven
yourselves.
Jones.
I'm with another guy.
Because it's not like you're dealing with three guys that are, mid-tier players. These guys believe they need to be paid top 5 amongst their position in Dallas. But there does seem to be momentum behind them saying, Dak, we like you. We may not love you. If we can work something out in the offseason, maybe so. But if not, maybe you go do a deal with the Raiders or Pittsburgh next offseason, wherever he may end up.
So you're saying the 5th-year option is not an option?
Well, haven't they already? They've already picked that up, right? Yeah, you got to hit me with an extension.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we got to extend.
You don't want to just give us one more lap around the track. You and Dak. Let's just do this one more time and see where everybody shakes out.
That ain't going to work for me, GM Rothman.
No, it won't. And I understand it. And he's a great talent. And I'm afraid this is going down the road of just let Justin Jefferson and let that happen when it happens. But you need to.
I want to get it done
now.
I'm with you. If I like CD, let's do it now.
Well, yeah, let's do it now. But it's got to be the right number.
I think I'm just saying.
Or he's going to probably hold out.
Yeah. That's where it gets real sticky.
I mean, the offseason program's not mandatory. I'm not worried about that.
This right now isn't. When we get the mandatory minicamp, I think into May, then he should. Well, I don't know.
CD, you're not contractually obligated to participate in our minicamp in June. How does that sound?
Oh, man. Let me ask you this. This might sound crazy, but I'm asking anyway. Would you rather have, at the moment, the Cowboys playmakers or the Commanders playmakers? Same division. Who would you rather have? CD, Brandon Cooks. You got, Jake Ferguson at tight end in Dallas. And then over at Washington, it's Terry McLaurin, Jahan
Curtis.
Dotson.
Is he still there?
He's in Buffalo now. But you got Jahan Dotson. They brought in Zach Ertz, Austin Eckler, rookie quarterback. Who
do they have at tight end then, besides Ertz? Logan Thomas?
I don't think Logan Thomas is there anymore. I don't think he is. But I don't know if it's a slam dunk that it's Dallas right now.
Dallas.
Ooh.
No?
I'm the fact that I'm hesitating.
Hey, bring up quickly. Can you bring up Dallas' stats from last year receiving?
Let me see what I got for you, big dog.
And I'll go to Washington, and we'll do a little tail of the tape.
Well, last year, that's with Sam Howell, and he was a mess. So
That's true.
I don't know if that's really fair.
It's not fair. What I'm saying is if they got good numbers with that, then I might lean that way.
So I've got CD 17. He's a monster. 1,700 yards, 12 touchdowns. Jake Ferguson 761 and 5. Brandon Cooks.
What about the receptions?
For CD, it was a $135.
Really? He had 135 catches.
He had a $181 targets.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm not joking, you guys. Back in the day, when we used to talk about NFL guys, it was Jerry Rice. Do you think you'll catch 100 balls this year?
That's crazy.
I mean, 100 catches in an NFL season was the line of eliteness.
Yeah.
And you had to have a Hall of Fame quarterback to get it.
These dudes are almost getting 200 targets in a year. If you put a water pistol to the dome right now, I'd probably go with the Cowboys still. But they ain't far off in skill, in my opinion.
Now you put a weapon at quarterback and you may have something.
Yep.
All right, we will come back with your guy, Jeff Carr, Locked On Reds. What are we hoping for here? Is it a good time to buy low on Cincy, or are we just kind of a stick and stay right now where we are? Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
It's child's play to donate your car, truck, RV, or boat to Ronald McDonald House Charities of Central Ohio. They'll pick it up free of charge, steer you through the paperwork, and a hefty tax deduction rolls your way as you help provide a home away from home for families of seriously ill, hospitalized children. For more information about donating your vehicle to Ronald McDonald House Charities, visit rmhc-centralohio.org or call 614-CARS-HELP. That's 614-CARS-HELP.
It's back and bigger than ever before. The Buckeye Cruise for Cancer in the Fans Euchre Tournament. Mark your calendars for May 5th at the Ballroom at Hollywood Casino Columbus for a tournament with high stakes for a low buy-in. Sign up your team of 2 for just $50 at 971thefan.com. Every team's guaranteed 4 games with the top 16 teams advancing to the money round. It all benefits the Ohio State Comprehensive Cancer Center, James Cancer Hospital, and Solov Research Institute. Limited space available. Sign up your team today at 971thefan.com. Bishop and Friends.
You're telling me Izzo's really listening to the Jackson 5?
He's wearing headphones into the arena. Oh, baby, give me one more chance.
Bishop and Friends.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here for my friends at RCD RV. And when you want to get away, there's no better solution than hitting the open roads in an RV. Brings me back to my youth out west, under the stars, fresh mountain air. That could all be yours, and your journey starts at RCD RV. RCD has RVs to meet every budget with new campers as low as $13,995, and Ohio's best selection of pre-owned travel trailers, fifth-wheelers, motorhomes. 3 locations to serve you in Central Ohio or online anytime at rcdrv.com.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Give your car an ego boost at Take 5 Car Wash, the wash where cars go to get squeaky clean and drivers go to one-up their neighbors. Their tulips look great, but your ride will look even better. Drop by a Take 5 Car Wash today and get a wash that'll turn heads. You deserve it. Your ride deserves it.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Because comfort keeps us going. So grab your family, your friends, and your Wrangler layers for some fresh air adventures together. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Something amazing is happening in education. Students are inspired and engaged. That's because school districts consulted with CDW, who designed modern classroom solutions with pre-configured HP devices, making learning more accessible, secure, and immersive. Now when students study topics like elephants, it feels like elephants are there with them. HP and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/HPPSG.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
A perfect afternoon parlay. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, Redlegs 16 up, 15 down, above 500, 3.5 out in the Central. So Maddie's printed championship shirts are still in their boxes, but that's okay. They've been printed. Problem is they've now lost 3 of their last 4, and they've got to host Baltimore starting on Friday for 3, so that may not be any picnic, but you get them at their place, so we'll see how they measure up. Our guy, Jeff Carr, host of Locked On Reds, nice enough to spend a few minutes with us today. Jeff, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. It's been a stretch, and this is just the beginning of the gauntlet.
No doubt, right? Early in the season, the gauntlet starts. And like I said, with Baltimore, you're eventually going to have to go 4 at the Dodgers, and we'll see if they can tread water here. But I do want to ask you about Frankie Montas, because I thought before the year started, they were very high on him, right? They signed him, but it's a 1-year deal. and they wanted to help this young rotation. I thought he was very impressive in camp. Matty liked him early, but we started thinking, okay, can he make 30 starts for the Reds? And will he get back to receiving those Cy Young Award votes that he got back in 2021, and he was rolling in 2022 until his trade to the Yanks. But now he's back on the DL. So what can you tell us?
So he is a guy that, I mean, he's just had bad luck here this IL stint where he gets hit by a line drive. And he's the kind of guy that I really think could be a stabilizing force for this rotation. I kind of had him at 22 to 25 starts this year, so he's still on track to do that. He was, with the shoulder injury and stuff like that, I thought 30 was a lot to ask, and there were some different studies and things like that I looked into about pitchers with that type of shoulder surgery and how they performed after it. And it's usually the second year that they really take that big jump. But we saw early on, he still has a lot of good stuff. And because he can throw so many different pitches, and because he's very good at attacking the zone, and he's not afraid to force guys to make, bad contact and things like that, he can be a reliable force for this rotation. I think that we should see him back very soon. I don't believe it's going to be a very long stay for him on the IL.
So let's talk about Elly De La Cruz, number 44, the star of the show. It just seems like he's off to a very good start. Last year, a bit of an up and down ride, as we see from rookies all the time. But the potential's always been there, as you know. Now that he's turned the page into year 2, what's jumping out to you? What's bringing him some success at the plate right now?
The biggest thing for me is the discipline, the ability to recognize pitches. And he showed it even in that bat yesterday against Joe Musgrove, where he fell down 0-2 very quickly. I believe this was his first at-bat. Ended up grounding out, but it was the kind of at-bat that you go down 0-2, you fight back, you get full count, you force the pitcher to really work. And that was something he just didn't do last year. He was very aggressive, swinging at anything coming plateward, and that's not who he is anymore. He has figured out how to recognize the pitches that he is just not going to hit, the ones that are going to fool him, the ones that are going to force him to swing and miss, and he lays off of those now. And it really puts all of the pressure on the pitcher, because the pitcher knows he is dangerous with the bat. He can hit the ball a country mile, but if you put him on base, he might even be more dangerous when you do that. So there's a very big chess match that goes every time he steps into the batter's box. And is he still going to strike out a little bit more than I think a lot of people like to see? Yes, but he is such a weird, in a good way, player that high strikeout rate still isn't going to affect the amount of production that he's going to give you, as we see so far this season.
What do you got on TJ Friedl? I mean, last year that guy was a spark plug for this offense and what he could do on defense. What's the latest on what you've been hearing about his availability and when he could return?
Absolute workhorse. This dude is so impressive, and I was so happy to see the different things about how he has worked through his injury, the whole broken wrist thing. He has really done a good job of keeping himself in good condition when it comes to, running and throwing and things like that. And now he is starting his rehab assignment today in Louisville. Probably will be 2 to 3 weeks away, because his is more so than, it's kind of like rehab plus. It's somewhere between a rehab stint and extended spring training for him. But the fact that he is at this point already, I had him penciled in for like mid-June. And the fact that we are looking at possibly getting him back into the lineup before Memorial Day is just a testament to how hard this guy works and how much of a leader he is in this clubhouse. It's a very inspirational thing to see a guy work this hard.
Jeff Carr with us, host of Locked On Reds here on Rothman and Ice on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. If I asked you who you think is the Reds' best pitcher before the season, and I ask you again now, is the answer the same 31 games later?
Oh, that's a tough one, because the good news is there's a couple of options, right? Like, you don't just have the obvious guy. I still think that the highest upside is Hunter Green, but I also don't think he's hit it, and I don't think he's anywhere near it, to be honest with you. Right now, the best pitcher in the rotation is Nick Lodolo, and I think I would have argued for Andrew Abbott coming into this season, and Nick Lodolo has just shown, in only a couple of starts, to be absolutely phenomenal. And I didn't think he had his best stuff in the first 2 innings in San Diego for Game 1 of this series. And then Derek Johnson goes out, says something to him. I don't know if it was like, the code phrase and he unlocked the secret agent within him, because then he retires the next 18 guys that he sees. And it was an absolute masterful performance, the way that he was able to just shut down that Padres lineup in the first game. And I think it's just a testament to how far he's come and how healthy he is, and showing that, he did pitch in 7 games last year before going on the injured list for the rest of the season. And in those 7 games, it was a slog. I mean, he couldn't locate his pitches. He was walking guys, giving up homers. And you wondered, what is this? The answer that we know is, well, he was pitching hurt, because when he is healthy, very few hitters can touch him.
So one of the big free agent signings for the front office this offseason was Candelario, and he's struggling right now at the plate. Do you think he's going to crawl out of this, or do you think this is kind of who they bought in the offseason?
No, I think he's slowly warming up. He's a guy that, for his career, the first month of the season is not kind to him, and then he really kicks it into gear in May. And I mean, looking at his career numbers, his batting average bumps up almost 50 points across his career, April compared to May. So there's something about just the progression of the season. And even once you get deeper into the season, Jimmer Candelario loves hitting in August and September, something that this lineup did not do. So as of right now, it is a little bit of a bummer to see him struggle the way that he is, but the San Diego series might have woken him up a little bit. His career, albeit kind of a small sample size against the Padres, has been one of domination, and he showed again why in this 3-game set. Couldn't quite lead them to the series win because the lineup around him was way inconsistent. But I mean, he's still hitting the ball hard. I think he's gotten. I looked at his batting average on balls in play. The luck just isn't quite there for him right now, and I think it's going to turn around here pretty soon.
All right, I'll end on another tough one. We'll go to the offense instead of pitching. I'm making Jeff Carr vote for the team's MVP right now. Is it Ellie or Spencer?
It's Ellie.
Okay.
I definitely love the fact that there's an argument. And I think that people who pick Spencer Steer have a good argument with the RBIs and things like that. But without Ellie, those RBIs aren't there, or at least half of them aren't. I mean, this guy is getting on base, getting himself over, and almost most of the time getting himself in more than we've ever seen anybody do. The old adage, get him on, get him over, get him in. That's what Ellie does by himself. And the fact that he has been able to put together a month that Major League Baseball has never seen before, with the 8 homers and the 18 RBI or the 18 stolen bases, just is a testament to the ability that he can do. I mean, and the getting on base part has been the biggest jump for me, because last year his batting average and his on base really weren't that different. This year he is showing an ability to draw walks, and that is just such a valuable thing for this lineup moving forward.
No doubt. The 18 swipe bags leads Major League Baseball, not just the Reds, obviously. So good luck against the O's, my man. Thanks for jumping on. It was fun.
Gonna need it. Gonna be a tough series. Thanks, guys.
No doubt. All right, there goes Jeff Carr, host of Locked On Reds.
Yeah, I love Ellie, love Steer. The Reds right now, they got a lot of snowflakes, falling up and down their baseball bats right now. Not a lot of lava moving up and down the baseball bats, man. Reds are 28th in the league in batting average. The offense stinks.
So it's funny you said that, because the guy he didn't answer, which I thought he was going to, was Graham Ashcraft. He didn't mention him.
Looked good yesterday.
But he's not getting any run support, to your point. Last couple of games he hasn't. And so when I asked him this is what I thought he was going to say. I thought he was going to say the best pitcher before the season I thought was going to be Graham Ashcraft. And then the guy who I think now is Lodolo Green.
It's Lodolo.
But he didn't mention Ashcraft.
The offense is not doing their part. We're in the basement right now in offense.
And you're still one game above 500. So
you make me feel better when you say that.
Yeah, I mean, you're right there. I mean, you're chasing the flubbies, Matty. You're all right.
Cubs are at 1-0 right now. Can't stop, won't stop for them.
All right, we will come back with the Buckeye Bulletin. Lathan Ransom on his hopes and dreams, and it may not even be on a football field. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Here's a listener tweet. Are men and bones stupid in real life? Yes, they are. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan.
Every so often in medicine, something comes along that is truly revolutionary.
Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, former orthopedic surgeon, now National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
I believe this is one of those things.
Dr. Scheinkup is talking about regenerative medicine, something he's practiced, researched, and written about for nearly 2 decades.
The old ways of dealing with joint pain, such as steroids and surgery, are no longer the best ways.
If you have pain from arthritis or injury, you owe it to yourself to learn more about this exciting option, using your own body's natural power to get lasting relief. And there's no better place to learn than QC Kinetics.
There is no one in this country today with more clinics, more satisfied patients, more advanced protocols, or more experience in using this exciting option to deliver life-changing results.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
I'm betting once a week, and then now I'm betting twice a week.
Only on 10, he started placing bets on his phone.
At first I was doing it for fun, and then I'm chasing losses. You lose, you chase, you lose, you chase. So I'm lying to my fiance. I tell myself I can handle it, I can handle it, I can handle it.
Only he couldn't. His story of tragedy and recovery, everyone who gambles online should see.
If you don't put your hand out for help, no one ever knows you need help.
Tonight at 6 on 10 TV.
Jeopardy is on the hot streak with runaway games, high scores, and can't-miss moments.
I've always had nightmares about doing this, Ken. True Daily Double, please.
Oh, that's the spirit.
As this game heats up,
what is the secret of being a world-class Jeopardy player?
Everyone's asking,
could we be witnessing a new super champ in the making?
Find out.
All right, we got a tight game
on Jeopardy.
Weeknights at 7 on 10 TV.
Tita Green with Skip Mosick.
Saturday, we'll chat with Memorial Tournament honoree, World Golf Hall of Famer Julie Inkster, plus some tech talk with Rod Cook from Titleist.
Tita Green with Skip Mosick, presented by X-Golf. Saturday mornings at 9 on The Fan.
Reggie was a nurse for 16 years.
I had become very burnt out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple of weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Tropical Smoothie Cafe here with your daily reminder to get on Tropic Time. Take 10. Sip a refreshing smoothie and manifest that you're a cabana side. Slade hot yoga? Treat yourself. Crushed back-to-back meetings? Get that me time. Adulted a little extra today? You deserve a vacay. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Self-care alert, new Tropic Bowls are here. Try one of our 4 flavors like our new acai bowl. Your vacay is a Tropic Bowl away.
I need directions for paying down debt.
Starting route. Apply for a SoFi personal loan and consolidate your debt into one fixed payment. Turn right into a positive outlook and get $5,000 to $100,000 as soon as the same day you sign with no fees required.
Got it. You could get out of high-interest credit card debt with a SoFi personal loan. View your rate at SoFi.com/debt in 60 seconds with no impact to your credit score. Loans originated by SoFi Bank N.A. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions at SoFi.com/debt. NMLS 696891.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats too. Your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day air installation.
Buckeye Bulletin time. You guys remember back in the day, Ohio State's defensive backfield was not very good. You know, back in the day, like a a couple years ago.
I was going to say 2022.
When, it was roast and toast. It was not good. And here we are now talking about this as perhaps the strength of the team. Now, it takes a Caleb Downs transfer and guys getting older and better. And so when you get Downs, who apparently played, I guess, mostly strong safety at Bama, and whether he'll be free now or the adjuster spot, and that should allow our guy Lathan Ransom to play his natural position, Maddie, in his natural habitat of strong safety. And he's a great dude. He was on Morning Juice with the boys earlier this week. And CB, let's start with the second one about early on now, off-season in the spring, the camaraderie on this team.
Since the locker room since I've been here has honestly gotten better. When I first got here, it's changed dramatically. I think since I've been here that the team this year is the closest team I've been on since I've been at Ohio State. And then speaking from the DBs, leave your legacy. I think that's what all me and Denzel want to do this year is make sure that when we leave, BI has a standard. And every day that we get on to the practice field, BI has a standard, and we got to execute that standard. And if it's not executed, it needs to be called out. And I think sometimes looking back, it wasn't always called out. So I think that's what we do a great job of this year. And then Coach Knowles does a great job of making sure everything is called out. I love Coach Knowles, but I think what I remember when he first got here, we had a whole defensive meeting, and every week we have a defensive meeting, and they show all the good plays in front of the whole defense, and they show all the bad plays. And when I first got here, if you had a bad play or something, only the DBs would see it. But now you got the D linemen laughing, the linebackers talking trashy and stuff like that. So it makes you want to go out there and execute at such a higher level than before. So, man, I appreciate it. But, everything has a microscope on it, so it's definitely preparing you for the next level.
It's a great answer, and it's one here at the Fan Fish will probably adopt. We'll all go into a meeting now, and in front of everybody, they'll hit play on a segment that's just trash in front of everybody. We'll all have to live it.
Yeah, I'm sure that would go over well. I'm sure that what I loved hearing, though, about that is not only just the part where, you can have the coaches call you out in front of everybody, but these guys are holding each other accountable. Right? Like if you see a guy slacking or you see a guy not doing what he's supposed to do.
If you see something, say something, Maddie.
Absolutely, but it doesn't have to come from Coach Knowles or Coach Laurinaitis or whoever it may be on defense. Like, we know what we're doing at this point, to the most part, right? This is a seasoned defensive back unit, whether it's Denzel or Davison Ignosin or Lathan or now Caleb Downs, who got a nice amount of experience down in the SEC at Bama. Like, you hold each other accountable and, you give each other some tough love every once in a while. I like it.
So this is what I've been saying about how their biggest weapon outside of talent may be, unfortunately, them being humbled the last few years or not getting to their ultimate goal. So that can send a program one way or the other. Kind of implode from the inside out. You start pointing fingers and things go the wrong way because of the losing, because it's so easy to be together when things are happy and successful. Or it can go the way they've gone, which is let's fight our way out of this. And that's kind of what you can hear. Now, you can also hear this is an OSU scholar athlete who's majoring in communications, and he may have stolen somebody's job while he was here. But he is that guy. And here he is thinking that he may be, if football doesn't work out, maybe on the big screen.
I do want to get into acting. I always joke around, and, like, if I see a really good scene on TV, I try to look to, like, who I'm watching the movie with or the show. I'm like, hey, let me try it and try to do it. But that's definitely something I'd love to get into.
I would like to hear Carpenter's follow-up there because I'm sure it was salacious.
I would have loved that.
What kind of acting do you want to do, Lathan?
There you go. Does it involve
what movies would you like to get into?
Oh, man. I think he mentioned something about Game of Thrones, too, when he was on the show. I thought they were talking to him about that, how he's big into Game of Thrones and getting some of the teammates over there on board with that, which we love. Because
it's a long ride.
Man, it is a grind. I tried to talk Tyvis into it yesterday. He's like, I can't get past the first episode. I was like, I get it, but once you hop on, you ain't getting off that ride. It'll grab you, that's for sure.
Could you binge watch Game of Thrones in that way? I mean, there's so much dialogue and trying to put together family trees and things.
I think that's the best way to do it, right?
You do have to watch it, Maddie, not in like your living room, like where there are windows too. There's so many dark scenes.
Yeah.
You have to have the right TV
Well,
as well.
speaking of Buckeyes and Game of Thrones, Joey Bosa made an appearance in one of those, and I still don't know if I really saw him in the episode or not, because I believe that was one of the big battles where they caught some heat because it was so dark in that episode. I know he was there, but I don't remember seeing him in that episode because the lighting wasn't that great, to your point.
I think Joey tweeted about it when it happened, and his big moment was like, and by the way, didn't he have some kind of costume on too? Like you wouldn't even know it was him. Like you wouldn't have recognized him even if he had a big scene. You check that out. You know where to look.
You know where to look.
You know where to look. It's called the internet. Listen, Lathan, wish you a lot of luck, man. That's a great goal to have.
Yeah.
Some guys have done. You can follow in Maurice Hall's footsteps. Became an actor.
You might want to follow. Remember when we talked to Brian Jones? Remember a former Texas player? He wanted to get into maybe some of the stuff Bobby would ask him about.
Absolutely.
There was a company that wanted to ask him, to play particular roles.
Yeah, places where 3-point lighting isn't that important, except in the right places.
Oh, man.
All right. That's today's Buckeye Bulletin. By the way, when we come back, let's keep diving into Ohio State because the portal closes up, and it feels like if you really wanted to define the all-in, you got your answer there. And speaking of quarterbacks, they're in line for maybe the number one overall for 2025. It's just the conveyor belt continues. But we'll talk about what the all-in is real and how it feels next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
There's a little slice of heaven in a country road's escape. Pure perfection in the form of uncrowded nature. Over 1.5 million acres of parks and public lands. From mountain biking to stargazing. Churning whitewater to quiet trout streams far off the grid. Almost heaven is down to earth in West Virginia. Plan your getaway now at wvtourism.com.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
It's child's play to donate your car, truck, RV, or boat to Ronald McDonald House Charities of Central Ohio. They'll pick it up free of charge, steer you through the paperwork, and a hefty tax deduction rolls your way as you help provide a home away from home for families of seriously ill, hospitalized children. For more information about donating your vehicle to Ronald McDonald House Charities, visit rmhc-centralohio.org or call 614-CARS-HELP. That's 614-CARS-HELP.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
One more rep. You got it.
10.
Nice work. You're a beast.
Thanks, man. I feel better than I have in years. And I got to tell you, taking Nugenix Total T makes a huge difference for me.
Nugenix, that's the testosterone booster TV ads with Frank Thomas, the Big Hurt, right?
Yes. The key ingredient is Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels.
Well, it's clearly working for you. Are they still giving out complimentary bottles to people?
Yes. Nugenix is a great way to feel stronger and leaner with more energy. energy, and as Frank says, she'll like it too.
I need to get a complimentary bottle of Nugenix.
Just send a text. Text back to 231231 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text BACK to 231231. That's back to 231231. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. What a night for the Columbus Crew. They are off to the CONCACAF Champions Cup final after beating Monterrey 3-1 last night. The Crew will play Pachuca for the championship on June 1st at 9:15 p.m. That will affect 2 MLS games as the Crew are scheduled to host the New England Revolution on May 29th and the Seattle Sounders on June 1st. The Guardians wrap up their series with the Astros at 8:10 tonight. Logan Allen gets the start for Cleveland. Reds with an off day before starting a series against the Orioles tomorrow. The Columbus Clippers continue their series with the Toledo Mud Hens. 6:15 first pitch over at Huntington Park. NBA playoffs tonight. The Pacers host the Bucks at 6:30. The 76ers host the Knicks at 9. This one brought to you by BMI Federal Credit Union. BMI has been voted best credit union 6 years in a row by CBUS Top Picks. Visit BMIFCU.org to learn more.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Maxima Concrete. Visit MaximaConcrete.com today to schedule your free estimate.
All right, welcome back. Third hour of the program, Rothman and Ice. It's a Gold Jacket Thursday.
That's right.
Which means we'll be going to Canton at 2:33 and welcoming in a member of the Steel Curtain from the 70s, Donnie Shell. Donnie's an amazing story because he was undrafted and turned himself into a Hall of Famer. I mean, the odds of that happening are astronomical. Now, getting drafted by the Steelers certainly helps. But, I mean, when you think about it, it's unbelievable. And you don't last as long as he lasts. But I'm going to tell you something really interesting about that. So he's undrafted out of South Carolina State in 1974. And at the end of training camp, I think he was one of 13 rookies to actually make it. But listen, let me tell you who was on the 1974 Steelers rookie class. I'll double check myself. Lynn Swann, Mike Webster, John Stallworth, Jack Lambert, and Donnie Shell.
Okay, that's crazy.
All Hall of Famers. Best rookie class ever.
Gotta be.
For any team in the history of professional sports.
No, well, yeah.
I mean, that's unbelievable.
That's
to have a rookie class that had 5 Hall of Famers.
Yeah, that's the front office doing some work right there.
I mean, they turned themselves into something, you know that. So, but he's retired as the leader in interceptions by a strong safety, and he'll jump on with us at 2:33.
Oh, man, can't wait to chop it up with him. Steel Curtain, one of the best nicknames in NFL history for a unit, if not the best. Like, you just knew what you were dealing with if you were an offense. You had problems. You were going to have problems on that day because those dudes were coming to knock your face off.
Exactly.
You know?
Well, his nickname was the Torpedo.
Right.
And I guarantee, and by the way, the reason why, because speed and launching himself into opponents. If you go back on the YouTube, Maddie, and check out the hit he gave to Earl Campbell, like right in his ribs. Like Earl had to kind of sidestep a tackler. He got past the line, lost his balance, and here comes Shell, and it's a torpedo right into the ribs. And Earl had to leave that game. He walked off.
I don't blame him, man.
But I wonder, playing now, he couldn't launch himself like that.
No, they're not allowing those guys to do it.
And they probably shouldn't. But
right, it's probably, it's smart. These guys have more information back then, than they ever did, in the years past. That's the one injury. You mentioned a rib injury. I don't know how these guys play with a rib injury. Like, they play through a lot, but that's the one where I'm always like, my goodness, especially when you're getting tackled. And I know they can protect it to a certain degree, but with how tender that has to be and the pain that comes along with that, talk about the pain.
Talk about the tenderness.
Come
Absolutely.
on, man. A rib injury? I'd be like, you know what, Coach, I can't go this.
Especially as a quarterback, although they're wearing the flak jackets now and all that. Yeah. But you're so exposed when you're throwing that football. Oof. But we'll talk to Donnie. He'll bring the lumber at 2:33. All right, so this kind of story came and went without any real headline because there really wasn't a headline. But in this day and age, this probably could be a headline that all 5 quarterbacks at Ohio State stayed on the roster. That the portal window shut down, and they all stayed. Now, I sit here to tell you that it's not shocking, but it's somewhat of a surprise. Now,
I'm shocked. I am, personally, that not one of the quarterbacks said, you know what, like you, Coach Day, appreciate my time here, all of that, but it's crowded, man. Like Lincoln, Air, Julian, Devin, I am shocked that one of those guys didn't transfer. And I wouldn't have blamed any of them for doing so with the way that this may set up this year and in the years to come. But I respect them, I'll tell you that much, for sticking this out.
Well, there are 2 schools of thought on this. One, and we really don't know whether these guys had other better offers somewhere else or who knows what. But you had to think they all at least did their homework on what might be possible. But the only way to really look at it is they either all believe that they want to still be a part of this team and they still have a future here, or that this race is deeper than we think. I don't think it is. I think it's Will Howard, Devin, and Julian are kind of in my pecking order that way. But who knows? Yeah. Maybe one of those other guys thinks they're in. They would know. I mean, if they get a feeling. And so now I don't blame, like Devin and Lincoln both had. They've thrown into the Cotton Bowl, and that was not the greatest audition for either one of them behind that line. Yeah. So, the big telling thing was that Ohio State went out and got a guy. If you're there, that they looked in their room and said, this isn't enough. Mm-hmm. And so they went out and got a 5th-year quarterback in Will Howard. And
2 guys.
Yeah.
Julian, too.
Well, and Julian, too. Yeah. Oh, well, and they signed Aaron Nolan, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they obviously have the best quarterback room in the country, but the fact that they're all here and they're still here, now, does it all speak to this brotherhood, love the teammates, love the team, got a chance to win it all, want to be a part of that?
Maybe.
It might.
Yeah, maybe.
How else should I look at it?
You brought up a good point, though, AR, when you were rolling there, because I think, sometimes it could be easy to jump to the conclusion that, it's crowded at this position group, at this guy's, university, and think that he can go. But, you got to scan the landscape too, right? You can't just go into the portal without a plan, right? You got to identify maybe a team or 2 or 3 that you could go there and be the guy sooner rather than later.
You can, because you can come back, but the optics of it are interesting, right?
Very
interesting. You go through that revolving door and you're coming back into the building.
Yeah, so this for me is this wasn't on my bingo card. I thought coming out of the spring game, these guys would get a little bit more information from Coach Day and Chip Kelly and the offensive staff and get a good, decent feel of where they could be in the fall. But maybe for the young guys, specifically, Aaron and Julian, they could flip the page a little bit in their minds to 2025 and say, okay, we got Will. He's an experienced guy. He's going to move on to some other things probably. And then that could be our time to really duke it out, if you will, maybe be the guy in 2025, but you'll still probably have even Devin around at that point when we get to the offseason this year. So, yeah, it's a good problem to have if you're Coach Day, because in that room there's plenty of talent we can coach up, and if a guy or 2 goes down, we can probably have one of these guys grab the steering wheel and get us to, a decent location. But for me personally, like if I'm Lincoln, what's the pathway for me right now?
He would have been the guy, right?
Yeah.
There's a feeling, and I had the feeling, I think you did too, that he would go. And I also thought that other programs would kind of do what they've been doing, which is kind of tamper away. Yeah. There's no way all these guys can fit in that room. We'll do our own little shopping cart for Ohio State quarterbacks, find out who's available, or at least get word to him that we're interested. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden it's okay. Put your best foot forward and let's hear what the deal is. And I'm sure there are other teams in the Big Ten that wouldn't mind having one of those guys and also weaken the depth chart of Ohio State in the process. So, but none of them, all was smoke and no fire. None of them left.
Yeah. And here we are with, a schedule that sets up for this offense this year, to where if you have to, still tweak it a little bit in those first couple games, you can probably get away with it against Akron and Western Michigan, 2 games here at the Shoe, and 3, with Marshall in a row there right after Western Michigan. We don't know what Sparty's going to look like. New head coach and Jonathan Smith, who did a pretty good job out there at Oregon State, so I'm sure he'll bring them better structure than what they've been dealing with, but that may take some time to build out the way he wants it to really have them, being able to battle with a team like Ohio State. But then the big one is the Oregon game. And I think for me, once you get past Iowa, after that Michigan State game, I think you got to have a dude by then. I would like it even earlier than that. I
think it's got to be going into those Big Ten games.
That's what I was going to, I'm with you, AR. Like, you want it earlier than that. But if you have to, I guess you could do that. But with Iowa, that's a defense that we know you can't mess around with Iowa. Like, their defense has been really good over the last couple of years and for a very long time. So you got a little runway there. And Coach Day, he's used the word preseason. I wonder if that's what he's looking at with some of those early games. But I always love just having it clean out of the gate. And I understand that's not always possible when you can work through a situation like this and guys are close. But, yeah, once you get to Sparty and definitely Iowa, to me, there needs to be a dude identified as the guy.
Yeah, I think most people I believe that Howard is probably the guy for the job right now. Devin's pushing him, but like we keep coming to, they didn't go out and get that guy for nothing. They knew what he was before they got him, and they felt they needed him. It's not like they didn't know what they had with Devin Brown. They kind of know that, but they wanted the experience. They wanted the multi-dimensional guy, and they wanted a leader. And they hope they have all 3 in Will Howard. If they don't, then they'll go to somebody else, and then it's can experience catch up to talent? Because they have talent. But what they got in Will Howard is experience. Mm-hmm. And this year you have to have a veteran, poised, composed guy who's tough, that can lead and go get it when you need it. And it's not like he's got to be perfect, but yes.
Spin it well, too.
Yeah.
Kyle left a lot of meat on the bone in certain situations last year. But that Iowa game, could we, like that trap game that we talk about on the schedule, that's the one. Because everybody's going to be talking about, hey, next week in Eugene, we could have Big Noon there. You could have game day there and all that stuff. Like, these guys got to make sure that they stay locked in the week before Oregon, because if not, then you're talking about with the way Iowa likes to play, it may be late in the third quarter and it's 13-10, and you're really having to dig in and figure out how you can come out with a win against the Hawkeyes. We know it's never really easy against them with the style of football they like to play.
Yeah. Well, you go back, and I know it was Kansas State versus Ohio State, but Will Howard was a 59% passer.
He's got to clean it up.
That's not where you want it to be. Now, like I said, he's been there a while. He had all those rushing touchdowns. That gives you such a different dynamic. During the spring game, I thought he had, I think he showed that nice little fastball we saw on that 10-yard hookup with Smith. It was a hair high, but he zipped it, so we at least got to see the velocity he can put on a football. And Ibuka made the one-hand catch of the day. I go back, and that move by Howard where he sidestepped the rush to his left to loft it right in a place where only Ibuka could get it, that showed me something. So of the spring game, what we could see, I think we saw a glimpse of what they think he can be at 6'4", 240, and a guy who was, 4 years at Kansas State with all those rushing touchdowns. But that completion percentage has to come up.
He's a career with 61% guy, I believe, off the top of my head.
Sounds about right.
Listen, I'm not worried about Will when it comes to his mobility. You mentioned the stature. That plays well, especially in the Big Ten where it can get cold and all those things, that he can lean on the defense and help lean on the defense with the run game that he's going to have. But the consistency of getting the ball to the playmakers is the question for me.
That's
when it comes to him.
You got the chipster. The chipster will be calling those plays.
Well, I know, but there's probably going to be a few games where maybe you can't just run through everybody. And can Will put the squad on his back and get it to Jeremiah and Emeka and Carnell and these guys, because those weapons are elite. They don't need to go completely away from who they've been. I think it can really be a nice blend of both this season with the quarterback run game, the running backs doing their thing. But those wide receivers got to get theirs too. And that's just what I want to see from Will, is how consistent he can be spinning that thing.
Devin, he was in 6 games last year, so he got in there. I think he got the 3rd series in the spring game, and what did he do? He took off, ran twice, showed everybody what he's about. He put some nice touch on that ball to Adolph from the kid from Dublin, Jerome, was good. I thought his RPO is there. Everybody knows that. Lincoln was the one that got scolded on national TV. Remember that?
Tough for him.
That was the only thing that kills you. There is a sack. Understand the situation. That's the student in class that everybody, listen, he may not have done right or broke the like that. He was the guy that got scolded.
He was overwhelmed, man. He's just a young guy in that situation that was very overwhelmed. But the same thing that I just said about Will, for me, applies to Devin.
Mm-hmm.
3rd down and 8. Can you stay in the pocket and rip it?
Need it. Because all you saw in the spring game was running, a little touch, like I said to David Adolph, and then that play action. Although we hit Brennan Schramm on the play action.
But that for me, AR,
at the end,
we need game action with these guys in the pocket doing it now.
Actually, I think that was the play action where Klatt asked Day, "What'd you think of Devin hitting Schramm for that touch?" And he's like, "We should have run the ball there. I wanted to run the ball there." Like, can anybody win? And then you had Sayin, who a lot of checkdowns, held the ball,
looked like a freshman.
He's got time. Yeah. Had a pick, nearly threw another one. But I thought that back shoulder Jeremiah Smith early in the second was pretty sweet. Ball comes out quick. You can tell there's talent there. So there you go.
Yeah, man.
Our little depth chart for Ohio State, which, by the way, stayed exactly the way it was going into spring.
Crazy to me.
All right, we'll come back. Little pre-snap read. The Steelers have a plan for Justin Fields, but where? Find out next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
An ex-jock and a very puffy, smooth-faced man. These are the first voices you should hear. Morning Juice. Your wake-up service.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan.
I just wanted to share how much my mom means to me. She works hard every day to make sure my siblings and I are happy and healthy. She never takes any time for herself and always puts us first. That's why I think she deserves a gift card to Kenneth's Salon and Day Spa. She deserves a day to be pampered because she's always taking care of us. She deserves a day to be treated like a queen.
Celebrate your mom with a gift card from Kenneth's. For every $100 spent on gift cards, you'll get another $10 bonus card redeemable in June, July, or August. Get yours at kenneths.com or visit any Kenneth's location.
Hey, it's Anthony here for the Good Feet store. We do a segment on the show every week called Pressure, but that's about sports. What about the pressure your feet endure every day? I know mine did. When I went to the Good Feet store, I learned I was out of line. I joked, I already know that. They said, no, physically, my feet weren't being supported the right way. So when I went to the store on Polaris Parkway, they also have one on Stringtown Road, I took all the time I needed to walk around the store to see what felt and fit the best in my shoes. Once I had them in, my personal arch supports from the Good Feet store, my lower back pain went away. What a feeling. You need to get your free personalized fitting by one of their arch support specialists. For arch supports to be effective, they require a precision fit. That's why Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store. You like them? You can wear them home. You have nothing to lose but the pain. So go to goodfeet.com today or go in and try the Good Feet feeling. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief, all from the Good Feet store.
It's back and bigger than ever before. The Buckeye Cruise for Cancer in the Fans Euchre Tournament. Mark your calendars for May 5th at the Ballroom at Hollywood Casino Columbus for a tournament with high stakes for a low buy-in. Sign up your team of 2 for just $50 at 971thefan.com. Every team's guaranteed 4 games with the top 16 teams advancing to the money round. It all benefits the Ohio State Comprehensive Cancer Center, James Cancer Hospital, and Solov Research Institute. Limited space available. Sign up your team today at 971thefan.com. With spring ball behind us, we're officially gearing up for the most anticipated football season ever. Excited, nervous, terrified to your very core? Think of us as your emotional safe space. Always your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Join your Franklin County Auditor's Office this Saturday for Shred Hunger, a free document shredding and e-recycling event. Documents and electronics will be safely recycled free of charge. The Auditor's Office is also encouraging donations of non-perishable foods and household items to benefit local charities. Shred Hunger, sponsored by the Ohio EPA, will be held Saturday, May 4th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Brobst Park in Canal, Winchester. For more information, call Franklin County Auditor Michael Stenziano at 614-525-HOME. That's 614-525-4663. Proper tree care is an investment that can lead to substantial returns and increased personal enjoyment. Hiring a certified arborist can help care for your trees and add considerable value to your property. Inspections by Ohio ISA certified arborists can often find and mitigate tree defects before they fail. Only professionals with specialized knowledge and training are properly equipped to provide appropriate care. To find an arborist, visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Healthcare.gov is here for you when life happens. If you lost your health coverage because of turning 26, going off Medicaid, leaving your job, or moving, you could be eligible to enroll in new coverage now. And if you need to update your coverage because of marriage or having a baby, you could also be eligible. But don't wait. There's a limited time to enroll. Check your eligibility at healthcare.gov today. Life happens. Get covered. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A pop-up shower or storm can't be rolled out this afternoon, but most of us stay dry. Mix of sun and clouds and highs in the mid-80s. We'll watch temperatures fall to the 60s overnight, with more scattered rain chances early Friday becoming more widespread by Friday afternoon and especially Friday overnight. Temperatures will be in the 80s Friday, falling to just 70s for Saturday. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Sign up at oh.bet365.com. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by the Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, a little Bet365 time.
Yes, sir. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. See for yourself when you sign up today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5.
All right, I'll get your guys' opinion on this. We'll go Guardians, I said earlier. I have Logan Allen going tonight for the Guardians in fantasy. I don't know who I don't think he's pitching against anybody. Who is it? Argueta? I can't remember who.
Houston's
for
beat
Houston.
Up
Yeah, and he's not good. So here's my ask to you guys. I either try to go with take a chance, take a walk, take a chance. So here are Logan Allen's strikeouts the last 5 games. 5, 4, 4, 4, 6. Okay. His over-under on strikeouts tonight is 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Houston doesn't strike out. Probably the least K team in, at least in
they're
their
tough, man.
In their
they
right.
are tough. Tucker, all those dudes, they're legit.
So I could go this way. I could go over on Allen and under on Arrieta of the Astros. That would get me to plus 170.
Ooh.
His over, by the way, his over under for the Astros is 4.5 Ks. So I could go Logan Allen over 3.5 and Arrieta under 4.5, or I could go double under.
Okay.
Which would get me to plus 260. But it's a little bit freaky to take Allen under 3.5 Ks. But it is against the Astros who don't K. So what? After all that, what do you guys recommend?
I don't even really
CB, these are your Guardians. Over or under Allen's 3.5 Ks tonight.
My only worry is that Allen's pretty consistent on getting to that 4 mark.
He is.
I would probably go the over in that situation.
Even though Houston doesn't strike out.
But I don't know if that's really mattered for him. It seems like that's just how he's been consistently.
All right, so let's go with the over on Allen and the under on Arrieta as a same-game parlay, and we'll get plus 170 on that.
I am going to the NBA because this Knicks-Sixers series has been off the chain. They are back in Philly tonight after Tyrese Maxey went absolutely crazy with 46 in the Garden. But now I'm looking at Tyrese Maxey again tonight. 26.5. I'm giving the over all day long for that. Minus 125 is the juice. So I'm rolling with him. The former Wildcat rocking out with Yeah, he went to Kentucky. Didn't he, CB? Yeah, he did. So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Bet365. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
All right, Steelers pulled off a couple of big free agent signings in the NFL, big by name. They began by taking Russell Wilson, whose 2-year run with the Broncos did not work out.
Mr. Unlimited.
Yes. There he is. He was benched, and there you go. So the Steelers decided to follow that signing by adding Justin Fields. And the trade was a little surprising from Pittsburgh's end, because, to get them both and then to tab Russell as the starter seemed a little odd, but here we are. They have two what they believe are probably high floor quarterbacks. If you believe this, Fields' role might completely be altered this season. So instead of just being a quarterback, they could experiment a little bit. Jaylen Warren, the current running back, went on the Not Just Football pod with Cam Hayward and said this.
Do you think the kickoff rules will make you want to maybe kick return this year at all? No. The fans.
Nah. They don't trust your kickoff return?
I guess
not. Dang.
No, we want to win. No, don't go back there.
I would. I think it's pretty cool. As soon as you touch the ball, that's when everything, starts to happen. But our offense or our special teams coordinator was talking about Justin Fields being back there. We're like, hold on.
Whoa, breaking news already?
We looked at him like, Justin Fields better be that back there. And, I don't know. I think it's cool.
Jalen, I know that it's a fun little pod, and it looked like there was a live studio audience there, but I guarantee their special teams coordinator would not want any thoughts outside the building that we're thinking inside. I actually buy what he's saying.
Really?
I'm buying that was said. I don't think he was just doing it to joke.
So you think the special teams coordinator really wants this to happen?
I think they're willing to look at it based on the new rules. Because if I got the kicker lining up his own 35 and you got 10 players from the kicking team lining up at the 40-yard line of the receiving team,
if this is the case, if I'm Justin Fields, get me out of here right now.
Of course.
Cut me right now.
It's probably not anything you'd mess around with. I'm just saying I do believe you don't think he just did that to be a joke, do you?
Well, I think Jaylen Warren's just rolling with what he was told, but I can't. No, I don't think the special teams coach was serious, AR. This would be foolish to do that. At that position, one thing happens to him, or Russell Wilson is bad, or he gets dinged up, then your team is a complete mess. You know me. I don't even like when, at the collegiate level, the punt returners are the star receivers. I don't even like that, let alone a quarterback. I get he's got the athleticism, but no, it's screaming bad idea for me.
Okay.
You kind of like it. You want to see it.
I've seen a guy rush for 2,200 yards in his first 3 years.
Okay.
That's an absolute monstrous total for a quarterback.
Yeah.
And now, I'm with you. Being hurt on a kickoff return is something you should think about. But
Mike Tomlin probably called the special teams coach like, what the heck are you doing? Why are you feeding this information to our players?
Would he be feeding it to him?
Well, that's where Jalen got it from, right? Was a special teams coach. Yeah. So I'm just like, it's a no for me, dog.
Danny Smith is the coordinator of special teams.
Probably take a little hit in your next paycheck, Danny.
A
little fine.
Danny's been around a while. Danny's been in the league 29 years. This is his 11th season as a special teams contributor.
Okay, Danny.
I don't know how old Danny is. My guess is he's in his mid to late 60s.
Okay.
Is my guess.
Over under a half kick returns for Justin Fields in 2024.
I'll take the over.
Really?
1.
CB, over under a half for Justin Fields kick returns this season.
I would go under.
Yeah. The new rules are the weird part, right? They don't, no fair catches. I got to go back and look.
It is going to be funky to see that. Because when they brought it up on the podcast right there, I kind of forgot, if I'm being completely honest, that we're doing that.
Yeah. Well, you would be exposing him. I hear you.
Yeah.
It's not.
He might be the guy. He might be the QB1. Then you can't do it then.
What if this is his pathway to paradise? What if this is it?
Antoine Randall L, quarterback?
Yeah. What if this is the way he's supposed to stay in the NFL?
No way. We don't want this for Justin. We don't want this.
I'm not saying I want it.
No, he's not. This is not going to happen. CB, before we go to break, can I get a Mr. Unlimited just one more time? It was good to hear it. Good to hear it.
Mr. Unlimited.
There he is.
We've heard that. We play that so much on this show. I actually forgot for a second that that's his voice. Like, we played it so many times, I thought, wait, that's somebody saying.
Play it too.
It's hilarious because the video, he's just walking around the crib. I got a new nickname. Play it again, CB. What's the new nickname? He's just like, I got a new nickname.
Mr. Unlimited.
Hey.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but I love it.
Steelers are hoping.
Yep.
They're hoping.
Yeah, man.
Looks like Tiger's head to Pinehurst, so he's going to get the special exemption into the U.S. Open.
You know what made me sad is that I saw he's only playing one tournament a month, which made me think he's not coming here. Because we got the Open the week after,
week after.
Yeah, so he's, dang it.
I don't think he's going to walk all of that and then go to the Open.
That made me sad.
It appears that way. All right, we'll come back. Donnie Shell on a Gold Jacket Thursday. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic. Oh, yes. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Every shot, every goal, ESPN Bet has fans covered for the biggest moments on the road to the championship. The exclusive sportsbook of ESPN is the only place to find special offers and promotions from your favorite ESPN shows and personalities throughout the playoffs. New users can get a bet reset up to $1,000 in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. Download ESPN Bet today. What a play. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Hi, welcome to the IKEA Spring Sale. Did you know that right now you can save up to 50%?
On bookcases?
Yep.
Office storage?
Yeah.
Ooh, something for the kiddos?
We've got you. Plus, IKEA family members get an extra 10% on select sale items.
Sign me up.
Don't miss out on the big IKEA Spring Sale. Visit your local IKEA store or go to IKEA-USA.com/offers now through 5/7. Offer valid 4/17 to 5/7. U.S. only while supplies last. Selection may vary by store and online. See store on IKEA-USA.com for complete terms. Restrictions apply.
Have you seen the redesigns of the new Honda lineup? They're outstanding. Hey, it's Anthony here for my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. How does leasing a new 2024 Civic LX sedan for $279 a month sound? How about pre-owned rates from 1.99% on certified vehicles? Accords, HRVs, CRVs, and even more savings if you're a current Honda owner or you lease. You've got to go to Germain Honda of Dublin. It's fun, it's quick, it's easy, and it's on Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Ohio, ready for some quick mental health facts? Let's go. Nearly 2 million Ohioans live with a mental health condition. In the U.S., more than 50% of people will be diagnosed with a mental illness in their lifetime. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide. So why are some of us still stigmatizing people living with a mental health condition when we know all of this? Let's listen to the facts and beat the stigma. Ohio, challenge what you know about mental health at beatthestigma.org.
Common Man and T-Bone are known for many things. And while great radio ain't one of them, shoving food down their gullets is their specialty. Join Man and Bone for Fat Boy Food Tip.
Live at 3 or on the podcast.
Your home for fat. The Fan.
This is the absolute worst time of the year to be dealing with joint pain. You can't do the stuff outdoors you love, the stuff you want to do, the hiking, the running, the playing on the beach. It's being around friends and family. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. If you're tired of achy joints, you need to call my friends over at QC Kinetics before you agree to any risky surgeries or steroids or harmful medications. That's what tens of thousands of real-life patients around the country did, just like me with my knee. My dad did with his knee. Some of our friends and family who have done it with knees and shoulders and a variety of joints. They're out walking around now, enjoying the time outside. Or you could be like a guy like Chad, who wants to live life to the fullest, but his knees have been bothering him. He's been on pain meds forever. He went to crutches on his high school reunion, but that was before he found QC Kinetics, and now he's bouncing around like the pain is gone. And QC Kinetics has a national director in Dr. Mitchell Mitchell Sheen Cup, who's been doing this for over 20 years. So go check them out at 614-208-4544. That's 614-208-4544.
Says who and or what? Those are the questions behind every eco guarantee. Other companies might promise same day this, guarantee that, and best in class every other thing. But just ask, says who? Says some announcer guy or cartoon character? You really want to take their word on it? Why not get your guarantees from the founder and owner of the company, me? Then there's or what. Too often, there's no promise make right, or it's a meaningless waived service fee. ECO doesn't even charge service fees, and our or what is always real. Last summer, we gave 277 families a $1,500 discount on their AC system when we missed our same-day deadline. That's a real deal make right. I know, because I had to pay for it. We also delivered same-day replacement service and same-day repair for many hundreds of others, because Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians really will come through for you when you need us to. Says me, or we'll make it right.
At GetEco.com.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Their live golf team name is Ice Dogs. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, welcome back into Rothman and Ice. It is a Gold Jacket Thursday here on The Fan, and we are proud to have a recent member of the NFL Hall of Fame, class of 2020, nicknamed the Torpedo, and he spent 14 seasons in the black and gold in the Steel City. What a fierce hitter and a great competitor, and boy, has he earned his spot in Canton, and he is back at the Hall of Fame. He is Donnie Shell. Donnie, great to have you.
Oh, good to be on with you guys today.
You're setting up shop in Canton. This residency program has been such a big hit. How does it feel to be back there where everything kind of culminated for you?
Oh, it feels great. And also, especially being out in the community and giving back and helping other people.
No doubt. Now, I don't know if you've already been to, I think you've done some talks already, but I think either you're scheduled or you've already gone to Canton McKinley Senior High School. Is that later today?
Yeah, that's later this afternoon. I'm excited about that one.
Let me ask you this. What is your message to the young student, young player, someone that looks up to you? What will be centered around your message?
Well, I'm talking about faith, family, and football. So I give them examples in my life about that, and I open it up for Q&A, and been some very interesting questions received from that.
Has there been any one that sticks out to you, a question that you received that maybe you weren't expecting or one you thought was really insightful?
Yes, one student asked me this morning, what's my net worth? so I told him, I said, many years ago, I turned the books over to my wife, and she handles the books, and you got to ask her. But that was it.
Well, you gave him a life lesson in the process, too.
That's awesome. Donnie, I want to dig in on your career. So much success at the NFL level. I want to ask about the Super Bowls. You've won multiple Super Bowls, are part of an historic program in the Pittsburgh Steelers. But amongst the rings that you did win, which one are you most proud of?
The first one. Just to see the expression on the chief, Mr. Rooney's face to receive that trophy. He didn't want to take it. The NBC announcer was handing it to him and wanted him to make remarks, and he was kind of hesitant to take it. But after 40 years, man, that's commitment.
Do you ever think about if you were actually drafted? I mean, your amazing story is that you were undrafted and you turned into a Hall of Famer. But I'm wondering if you did get drafted late to name a team that wasn't Pittsburgh, you feel your career would have worked out the same way? Or was it a blessing that you went undrafted?
It was a blessing. As a matter of fact, I know the Lord was working because they had a strike that year, and I got extra reps in training camp, which helped me tremendously.
Was there a teammate along the way that you believe deserved more recognition amongst the Super Bowl teams that you were a part of?
Yes, L.C. Greenwood.
Mm-hmm. What did he bring to the field that you thought needed more recognition?
He was about 6'8", man, about 245, 250 pounds, and he was noted for his pass rush, but he played the run equally as well. It was him, Jack Ham, and me on the same side, so nobody got around our corner.
We're talking to Donnie Shell, Hall of Famer, NFL Hall of Famer, Pittsburgh Steelers, 14 seasons, 51 interceptions, first strong safety in the history of the league to surpass the 50 pick mark, which is unbelievable. But I think what's equally, you were one of 7 brothers in a family of 10. Were you the best athlete growing up in your family, or no?
No, I don't think so. No, I had my other brother, my brother Mike, that's 9 months older than me, was a good athlete also.
I want to dig in on the safety position, right? It can be such a valuable weapon there on the back end, and you were great at taking the ball away. But, you know, if you were giving advice to young safeties right now, what are some of the most important skills you think you need to have at that position?
Be a student of the game. My responsibility was to call the checks out, for the secondary, and you got to know what was going on to make those checks and get everybody on the same page. So you got to study, and then go out and perform.
Donnie Shell, part of the Steel Curtain, the unbelievable defenses of the 70s of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, you know you're back in Ohio, and one of your big rivals, I'm sure, was the Cleveland Browns, and our producer is a big Browns.
Stop the interviews. Hey, are you missing? Don't say that name.
You know what? I haven't learned my lesson because you're right. Because here in Columbus, you know, we're not allowed to really say the Michigan word. So you're right. I probably shouldn't do that. But you did have some of your best games against that team in orange and brown. Did they get you a little more fired up than many of the teams?
Oh, without question. When we left the school we spoke at just early this morning, I was telling Jonathan about a story about Myron Cope, about the rivalry between the Steelers and the Steelers and the Brownies.
You had 3 picks against them in one game. Is that right?
Yes.
Wow, that's unbelievable. When you think about your nickname, you know, when I brought you on, the Torpedo, I'm just curious, would you enjoy playing defense right now the way the NFL is set up defensively, or would it have been very tough to be that same kind of fierce defender?
I think good athletes adjust. I would adjust it with a frown on my face.
Maybe you would have to lose the nickname, the Torpedo. The commish might not like that.
Oh, yeah, well, you are who you are.
Donnie, talk to us about how you ended up at South Carolina State. I know you grew up in South Carolina, but just the interest around you as a player coming out of high school. What was that like for you before you got to South Carolina State?
I didn't have very much interest. The only other interest I had was Belmont Abbey on a basketball scholarship. It was a Christian school up near Spartanburg, South Carolina, and South Carolina State. So South Carolina, they offered me a half scholarship, Belmont Abbey in basketball, and South Carolina State offered me a full scholarship, half in football and half in baseball. So I took the better deal.
Donnie Shell with a Steel Curtain, I believe. Are you one of 5 now members of that curtain that are in the Hall of Fame? What, you, Blunt, Mean Joe, Lambert, and Ham? Am I missing anybody?
Yep, you got it.
Yeah, I mean, that's unbelievable. That class of yours, the whole deal. Do you believe today, and you've seen a lot of football, and you guys are right there. I know the Bears of 85, and there's some other defenses. I know you'd put your defense up against anybody, I'm sure. Is it bothersome sometimes to hear that maybe people put the Bears of 85 above you, or do you think that they're equally as deserving? How do you look at it?
We're the real deal. I'm not sure about the 85 Bears. Hey, you know what I heard about Joe Green? But we were playing the Cleveland Brownies one Sunday, and he rushed the passer, and he couldn't get to the passer. So he created the zone blitz. So he's dropped back in a zone, intercepted the ball, was running for a touchdown, see he couldn't make it, and lateral back to J.T. Thomas for about a 40-yard touchdown.
That's fun. Donnie, I want to ask you about Mike Tomlin. I mean, this is a guy that's been around for a very long time as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. As a former great that played for this franchise, what do you think of the job Mike Tomlin's been doing?
Excellent. I love Coach Tomlin. I mean, he's got wisdom beyond his years, and he's an excellent communicator with people and young players at this age and time.
That's outstanding. It's got to be such a cool thing for you to be there I know we do have a lot of Steeler fans here, even in Central Ohio, and I just want to let them know that you're going to be at the Hall. You're going to be greeting people Friday and Saturday. People can get up to Canton. They haven't been in there, up there in a while. You're definitely a motivator for people to want to come and see and greet, and I'm sure that you'll welcome that. So I think this is one of the coolest programs. We're happy to help promote it. And I got to tell you, 14 seasons in the black and gold, it probably you couldn't have dreamt it any better. And I don't even know if you grew up wanting to be a football player. Were there other dreams? In those classrooms when you're a little kid and your teacher says, what do you want to be when you grow up? Did you always say football player or no?
No, I want to be a teacher and a coach like my high school coach and have the impact that he had on us, not only on the football field, but especially off it. So I majored in education, and I was going to follow in his footsteps.
Well, I got to say, you bookended pretty well because you're going to be going to schools. You've already been to some. So in a way, you became that teacher you wanted to be, but life lessons for sure. Football and faith like you're ready to tell the kids over at Canton McKinley. Thank you, Donnie. It's been an absolute pleasure. Enjoy your weekend in Canton, and we'll send the people up there to see you.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for promoting it. It's an excellent program.
You got it. Donnie Shell, the Steeler of the Steel Curtain, and there were so many great ones. We appreciate him coming on a Gold Jacket Thursday here on Rothman and Ice. He was on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. All right, quick word from my friends over at Germain Honda of Dublin. Rich has his team, and he has his lineup. It's outstanding. You've heard me talk about Honda now forever and the redesigns. I just jumped on the GermainHondaofDublin.com site and see the absolute cool HR-V Sport. They got some new 2024s. The CR-V, they just hit a massive home run with their redesign. The CR-V Sport. Go on there right now. You'll see that one in radiant red metallic on black interior. Great deal. You're going to get about 34 Highway 40 city. It's just for an SUV and a crossover, an unbelievable deal. But the best place to go is Germain Honda of Dublin. So you can jump on the site right now, GermainHondaofDublin.com, and check out the rides that I'm looking at. They've got more than 300 new for sale right now. They're on Sawmill Road, just south of 270, and you can check out their certified, the pre-owned, and the new right there on the campus. And tell Rich I said make you a great deal. And you'll find one there at Germain Honda of Dublin. Don't look anywhere else. All right, we'll come back. We'll tell the truth. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We test marketed naming the show A Guy and His Butlers.
Oh, that is very touching.
But we thought Bishop and Friends had a better ring to it.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan.
Men, this is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, the leading men's sexual health practice here in the area for treating erectile dysfunction and low testosterone. And I'm excited to tell you today about the opening of our second location here in Columbus. For me, having been raised here, it's like being back home. The response we've gotten from men here in Columbus has been incredible, and I want to thank so many of you for trusting us in addressing your ED and low T issues. Our goal is always to put patients first, and our highly skilled medical professionals are totally focused on men's sexual health. So if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction, call us. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, you'll get your sex life back. You might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. Make your appointment today. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app, or listen at home on your smart speaker, or open up the iHeartRadio app, or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the Dopes at The Fan.
Good morning, everyone.
Watch NBC4 today at 6 a.m. and you could win a $10,000 trip to Paris. Spot the keyword at 6 a.m. and enter to win. The NBC4 Today Bon Voyage giveaway, sponsored by Reynolds Travel. This week at 6 a.m.
Save big on fuel with M-Perks. Earn points on your Meijer purchases in-store and online. Then use your points to claim a fuel reward and save up to $1 off per gallon of gas at Meijer. Claim your M-Perks fuel rewards on the Meijer app and ID at the pump to save. Plus, earn points for qualifying Meijer Express purchases and look for exclusive Meijer Express offers. Download the Meijer app to sign up or see Meijer.com to learn more. 10 cents to $1 off per gallon based on points earned. Exclusions apply. Not valid in Wisconsin. Max 30 gallons.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Sick of being upsold at gyms?
My guy, you're currently a base member? For $90 more, I can upgrade you to our Shred membership. For $130 more, you'll be a Swole member. And for just $300 more, you'll reach Sweat Platinum.
At Planet Fitness, you'll get energy without the upsell. Never pushy, always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. It's fitness that fits your budget. Join Planet Fitness for just $1 down and $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, May 10th. See Home Club for details.
This is Corey Sickles with Safe Harbor Retirement Group. We can help ensure you'll have a reliable income stream in retirement, locking in gains and avoiding downturns in the market. Visit safeharboroh.com to schedule a complimentary meeting. safeharboroh.com.
Good morning, everyone.
Watch NBC4 today at 6 a.m. and you could win a $10,000 trip to Paris. Spot the keyword at 6 a.m. and enter to win. The NBC4 Today Bon Voyage giveaway, sponsored by Reynolds Travel. This week at 6 a.m.
Want to know anything about the fans' contests, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
All right, CB, take us home.
All right, today's National Day of Today. I feel like this one needs to be around Valentine's Day because it fits the candies you would probably buy for your significant other around that day. But it's National Truffle Day. A lot of different fillings you can put in your truffle. But my question to you is, what is the best type of filling? Maybe like a raspberry, caramel. What are you feeling?
Yeah, man. That caramel serious, CB. Sure. That caramel goes well with truffle. You know what I want to try, though? Like I see on Food Network all the time. Like, they get really excited when they get, like, the real truffle and they shave that on something. Like, I've never had truffle in that fashion. Maybe I'm not bougie enough to do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't hang out with the people that you hang out with on the weekend.
I don't even know what a truffle is, man. Like, I'm being really honest.
No, I feel you.
I honestly, just the name and the whole thing, is that like a series of things, or is it like just a... Honestly,
I think the definition of it is just like a candy filled with some type of filling.
Something all like jammed up with something. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, that's
something
how you
all
want
like
to put
stuffed
it. Yeah.
And all like jammed up. All right.
You know Freaky Friday's tomorrow, right?
Sorry.
Okay.
No, you said it's Friday already.
No, I said that's in-house. I'll keep that in-house. Let's keep that in-house.
About 20 minutes ago, I heard
oh, man.
Welcome to Friday. All right, so it's the truffle is something that you can fill. Is that okay?
I guess if you want to think about it, like a Reese's cup is technically...
Well, like, would a Buckeye be a truffle? I mean, it's all like jammed up with that peanut butter. So
really on this jammed up, huh?
It's all stuffed and like jammed up.
Oh, man.
I don't know.
We got to go to the next one, CB.
I like candy bars that have peanuts. Ooh. Right? I like peanut butter. So that's where I'm going. I don't know anything else.
We need a chef to clarify this, because I think on the show we really don't know what truffles really qualify.
Come on, what's a truffle?
Well, you have your connections with Guy Fieri, right?
You know what? Guy may have a little beef with me because I did call him out. Remember a while ago? I was like, is he really an elite chef?
He probably canceled his Flavortown Fest because of you.
Because of me, yeah. That is on me.
Some trouble with the truffles.
My bad.
All right, let's move on. We discussed the Justin Fields returning kickoffs comment that Jaylen Warren made earlier in the week. My question to you is, though, looking at the other quarterbacks around the league, could you see any other quarterback that might, if you tried to, put them back on kickoffs?
Oh, absolutely. Like that would want to do it, or that I would just force to do it?
That's terrible.
I would probably say if you force them to do it.
Well, the number one guy I would say would be Josh Allen, because I think he could handle it physically. You put Lamar back there for sure. I've already got Justin Fields back there. I would probably... Oh, I have a guy. My guy. Taysom Hill. He's a quarterback.
That was my second option.
Okay.
Your Josh Allen, I think, is the home run pick right there. But I'm going to go a little sneaky here because I'm going to go with a guy that's not as tall.
Can I guess?
And he can, yeah.
Were you going to say
probably just gave it away.
Kyler Murray?
Yeah. And he can hide behind some guys, right? We can hide him behind some of those blockers. Kyler, he might be 6 foot with cleats on. So I'm going to go with Kyler Murray. He's got the agility, and we can, tuck him away if we need to.
I might say in a weird way, I would think, well, Danny Jones we know can run, but he's been injured, so I wouldn't want to do that to him. If you want to put some second-tier guys back there, like Joshua Dobbs, I think would be pretty good. What about Trevor Lawrence?
I don't know if
not fast enough?
Oh,
okay.
You know who really I might want to change my pick to? Anthony Richardson. He can get busy, and he's got the size
locomotive.
too. So yeah, give me Kyler and Anthony Richardson.
You're already having trouble just keeping them healthy playing quarterback.
Fair enough.
The truth? It's overrated.
Getting truffle texts now.
Yeah, we need help. Good.
Remember our old buddy Bill at Kroger down in the brewery district?
Did he just hit you up?
Yeah. Chocolate truffles are named because they look like the real truffles that you had mentioned. I don't know. What did you mention?
It's like, I don't know. I just see them like they shave it off on Food Network. I'm not helping at all, but that's all I got. Shout out to Bill, though, our guy from Kroger, man. Hope you're doing well, Bill.
Miss you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. He used to hook us up.
All right, one final question here. If I gave you
Anthony, you want bread?
If I gave you fresh health, gave you your insoles, your new meniscus, whatever, get you back to your youthful health, what sport would you like to play again at your peak?
Ooh. I need a hitting lesson for my guy. But I do pride myself in manning a pretty damn good left field.
Okay.
It's where fly balls went to die.
Look at that.
And I got to tell you, I really enjoyed that. Making that backhand catch down the line.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't be able to hit my hat size, though. I mean, I was a slap hitter. I couldn't quite.
All right, we'll get you some
baseball
power.
Would be probably the sport.
I'll pump some steroids in you, man, and we'll get you going. Get you on that Barry Bonds plan. Yeah, see, I'll go back to just baseball and do it all over again and just fine-tune my game as much as possible and leave away some of those parties and stuff where I wasn't supposed to be, and I'd probably get in the cage a little bit more,
The truth shall set you free.
If you missed Aaron Freeman, who covers the Atlanta Falcons, Jeff Carr, Locked On Reds, and Donnie Shell, the Hall of Famer that was a part of the Pittsburgh Steelers Steel Curtain. Wherever you get your podcast, type in Rothman and Ice. Those interviews and a lot more will be waiting for you. And subscribe to the old Rothman and Ice podcast as well.
We would appreciate that. We appreciate you listening. Of course, we'll come back on a Friday. We'll have some goodies for you then. And we'll make room for our guys, Common Man and T-Bone. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Keep your arms and hands inside the ride at all times, and we will talk to you tomorrow at noon. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
Ma, the meatloaf!
The Fan. This is a Fan Action Update.
This action update is brought to you by Tipico. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. This just in. Ohioans love to bet on sports. The total sports betting money wagered in March for the state of Ohio was $809 million. That puts Ohio third on the list, behind only New York and New Jersey. The $809 million of sports betting in March puts Ohio ahead of Pennsylvania and Nevada, who round out the top 5. For your Tipico action update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate. Why make things harder than they need to be? There's a better way to save time and money. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go.
The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
We see it every day. A guy comes into the men's clinic and guess what? The pills quit working, or they're sick of the side effects. And you know what else we see? Guys not confident in their relationship. At Columbus Men's Clinic, we're the leaders in bedroom confidence. Understanding if you even need ED or low T treatment should be the first step. And the next should be choosing the treatment or treatment combination to build your confidence. Our urologist and physician group is offering professional, modern treatments with success rates as high as 92% and decades of experience. Our doctors are not going to send you an email with what might work for most people. We are results-driven. Concierge. You don't pay for medication, it's included, but you invest in the time it takes to get you where you want to be. We've built an experience with discretion that takes the worry out of going to the doctor. In fact, we've normalized it for guys all over Columbus. Come see our friendly team in Columbus and find out why we've been #1 in men's health for years. Get a consultation and low T blood work with results on your first visit for $99. Get your confidence back in the bedroom and beyond. Go to columbusmensclinic.com and book your appointment today. columbusmensclinic.com.
There's a little slice of heaven in a mountain town escape. A pace of life that's less hurried, more authentic, where people greet you with a smile, and experiences feel down to earth, yet elevated. From Appalachian art to wineries and craft breweries, live music to a lively spirit. This is West Virginia. We call it Almost Heaven. Plan your getaway now at wvtourism.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Open your door to a gorgeous Nature Stone garage floor. This is Paul Keels for Nature Stone. This month only, save up to 50% during their May is for Moms sales event. Schedule your free cost estimate today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.